Good evening. My tummy hurts. I don't know why. I don't know why. Um, so I do want us to have sympathy today um, for the tummy ache. So today, welcome everyone, by the way. I read something interesting on a video of Abba and Preach um, because Abba and Preach were talking about this woman who went on a date and they were having a date and the lady got ditched at dinner and she had to pay the man's bill. So he ran out and left her with the bill. Um, and Abba and Preach said this is because of dating apps. This is because of dating apps that is causing this behavior. Dating apps. Now, me personally, I feel like every time these conversations happen, it feels like there's an elephant in the room um, that men specifically are unwilling to look at. And that has to do with the individual who, for example, walks out on his date and leaves her with the bill. I feel like people are missing a certain element here. We're going straight to the dating apps. Um, So, I feel like maybe there's some in between where we can talk about the person. But on that video, people were talking in the comments about dating apps and how, you know, all that stuff. And one person said, there's this group called Are We Dating the Same Guy groups. And they're talking about how they caught the Tinder swindler. If you guys don't know who the Tinder swindler is, let me quickly pull this up. There's a whole movie, not movie, but documentary based on this. Let's put it on. Oh, I didn't know it was that highly rated. Um, the Tinder Swindler, a true crime documentary. And it tells the story of Israeli con man Simon Leviev. Simon Leviev, who used the dating application Tinder to connect with individuals who he then emotionally manipulated into financially supporting his lavish lifestyle on the pretext he needed the money to escape his enemies. So, a scammer, basically, he's a scammer. And he scammed a bunch of women. So let me quickly read through some of the plot. Since it's short, yeah, we can read through the plot because it's short. I'll make it big again. An Israeli man traveled around Europe, Shimon, I don't know how to pronounce it, presenting himself as the son of Russian-Israeli diamond mogul Lev Leviev. He used the dating app Tinder to contact women as Simon Leviev and trick them into lending him money that he would never repay. He would charm women with lavish gifts and take them to dinners on private jets using money he borrowed from other women he had previously conned. He would later pretend he was being targeted by his quote unquote enemies, often sending the same messages and images to each woman, indicating that he had just been attacked with a knife, but that his bodyguard had saved him and was hurt. He then asked the victims to help him financially due to the breach of security, supposedly hindering his use of his credit cards and his bank accounts, which didn't exist. He would then use the money gained through the deception to lure in new victims while essentially operating a Ponzi scheme. Later, he would pretend to repay his victims by sending forged documents showing fake bank transfers and then break off contact with the victims. Sometimes he would go as far as threaten them and use manipulation to get more money from his victims. It's estimated that he swindled $10 million from people across the world. What I want to know is, was he caught? Was he caught? Well, actually, is this a crime? Is this a crime? Let's see. Nope, he's a free man. Let me quickly put this up. This is important. Currently 31 years old, Simon Lviv lives as a free man in Israel and is currently dating Israeli model Kate Conlin. Not Conlin. According to Instagram story shown in the Tinder Swindler. Let's see. So it looks like before the documentary came out about him, his account was active with nearly 100,000 followers, although it was set to private. But as the work gained popularity, Lviv deactivated his Instagram altogether. Before deleting the account, he wrote, "Thank you for all your support. I will share my side of the story in the next few days when I have sorted out the best and most respectful way to tell it." That's interesting. Why don't you just come out and tell us the truth, sir? Why are you gathering your lawyers to talk about the truth? That's what I'm interested in knowing. But it's fine. It's fine. Maybe he's just not well spoken and he needs to gather his thoughts. This was a while ago, though, so it doesn't look like he gathered them. He said he'll share his side of the story in the next few days when he has sorted out the best and most respectful way to tell it, both to the involved parties and myself. Until then, please keep an open mind and heart. Let's see. Lviv recently spoke out in a new interview with Inside Edition, claiming that the Tinder Swindler isn't accurate. They present it as a documentary, but in truth, it's like a completely made-up movie, he said, sitting next to his girlfriend, Conlin. "I'm not a Tinder swindler. I was just a single guy that wanted to meet some girls on Tinder. I'm not this monster. People don't know me, so they cannot judge me. I'm the biggest gentleman in the world." But the real Lviv Diamond family might disagree. They filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Simon Lviv in Tel Aviv for defamation, invasion of privacy, breach of trademarks, and impersonation. Quote, "Shimon Hayat is a fraud who stole our family's identity and has tried to exploit our good name to con victims out of millions of dollars." I'm not going to read this entire thing, but I just want to make sure we all know who the Tinder swindler is, based on to go back to what we were doing. So yeah, there was a comment on Abba and Preach's video about dating apps are bad, and that man left you at dinner to pay his bill because dating apps are bad, and dating apps create this behavior in men. And women too, because Abba and Preacher are going to talk about women, but they were like, yeah, all of this dating culture now is bad because of dating apps, which I disagree with. The research seems to be saying something is bad when it comes to modern relationship, but dating apps is not the cause. Without the dating apps, I still think there would be some problems, right? But we'll talk about that. So this comment said, the "Are we dating the same guy" groups are how the Tinder swindler was caught. And this is when I read a reply to that comment that said, those online groups and those posting in them, the "Are we dating the same guy" groups, are being sued by men for slander, defamation, doxing, safety, and other privacy concerns. It's a class action lawsuit. And then one person followed up and said, "I love that one man acted like an average woman and it became a whole thing." Now, I'm not sure if he has a misconception. I don't think the average woman is swindling multiple men for millions of dollars and pretending that their life is being threatened by foreign men, and you need to send them your bank account details so they can escape the violence, and sending you fake videos of them being stabbed, and lying and claiming to be a part of some rich family that they have no association with, and now being sued for defamation and other things. I don't think that's what the average woman does, but Abba and Preach's comments disagree. But I'm not here to talk about what they think the average woman does. I'm here to talk about, are we dating the same guy? Because I couldn't believe that there was a class action lawsuit, they're saying, against just those online groups. So I looked it up for myself. Let me put this on the screen. so that I could read a little bit about it. Oh, they want me to disable my ad blocker. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we can find a different source. I read it on my phone earlier. I didn't know they had that screen there. So let's just go somewhere else. That's all that is. That's all that is. Let's just go somewhere else. It's fine. We could turn it off for this one page. Are we dating the same guy? What to know about controversial Facebook groups at the center of lawsuit. Now, first, let me pause before we go into this, because my friend and I had a back and forth today about something different that I think relates to this. I was online browsing Facebook because I don't use, y'all know I'm 42, so I don't use the Instagram and the TikTok or anything like that. I just use Facebook. And as I'm browsing Facebook, I scroll by this post, and there's some woman supposedly in like a prison garb or uniform, and she's like, I'm getting out of prison soon, and I'm looking for a man who can take care of me. And this piqued my interest. I'm not going to lie. So I checked in the comments of the post, and there were dozens of men who were very thirsty, in my opinion. And they were like, girl, I'm going to take care of you. Once you get out here, you can stay with me, and don't worry, because I stay with my ex-wife, but I'm gonna kick her out so that we have room for you, because she just in the way or something. Anywho, so I clicked on the Facebook group that this was a part of. It's just an open Facebook group. I was very intrigued, so I joined several of these groups. There are several groups on Facebook where women in prison, or women who are getting out of prison soon, are looking for pen pals, people to send commissary, and men to take care of them when they get out of prison. And apparently there are just thousands of men who are willing and able to take care of these women. And as I begin to join more groups, I begin to feel more and more like this type of behavior. It came off a little predatory to me, because these are women with felonies who may not be able to. So it's a mutually, I wouldn't call it mutually parasitic, but I do understand the parasitic nature of a person getting out of prison and now they want someone to leech off of. I understand that because I know a lot of men who do that. Not personally, but I've seen this stuff online about these women who date men who have some heinous history, but he's a changed man now, so I'm gonna help him get on his feet. Interestingly enough, I have seen this a lot online. Apparently, this is a thing. So I completely understand the parasitic nature of someone who's in jail, getting out, and wanting someone to siphon off some money off of, because working with a felony is difficult, as most people with felonies learn after they leave prison. So it's difficult to escape whatever lifestyle of illegal activity that you were doing to make money, for example, if you cannot get a legal means of making money due to your history of having illegal means of making money. Y'all see where I'm going here? It creates a cycle. So these people trying to get some money and get off their feet so they can get out of that. That's what I've seen. I'm sure there are other people who just want to siphon just because. So yeah, there's that too. But also, it feels like something feels off-putting to me about men preying on women who don't have the means to work for themselves at jobs that pay well enough to live alone. So now they have to rely on you. That felt a little predatory to me. So I plan to screenshot all of the comments and all of the posts and make a video about it. I was going to blur out the people's names and blur out the photos, and all we were going to do is look at the comments from the men about these women that I felt like were predatory in nature, and where I felt like power imbalance relationships were being created, where one person has a lot of freedom and a lot of power and the other person doesn't, and has to rely on that other person. And I wanted to talk about that with you guys. But my friend said, this is unethical. My friend said these Facebook groups are private. They are private. And for you to go in there and get that information and publicize it um, is an ethical concern for her, at least. It was not an ethical concern for me at all. Because I felt like by blurring people's names out and making sure I'm not putting up people's personally identifiable information or pictures, I feel like it becomes more of a video about this concept rather than individual people in here that we're like laughing at or making fun of. That's what we certainly weren't going to do. Y'all know we don't do that over here. We don't take pictures and stuff of men and laugh at them over here. No, sir, and no, ma'am. That's not what we're about on this channel. No, we look at things and we analyze them, but we certainly wouldn't go into a Facebook group where there are men who are very desperate and want to talk to women in prison because maybe they're having a very difficult time dating outside, or maybe they specifically want someone that they can control without a lot of freedom, as people who haven't been to prison tend to have. We certainly weren't going to look at those desperate men and laugh at them. No, we weren't. That's just not what we're about. I've never done that. We've never done that because that's not what the channel is for. The channel is for looking at things and examining them. So I just want to reiterate that we certainly would not be laughing. That was not the purpose of the live stream. It certainly was not. Nope. We were going to be analyzing. I want to make that very clear. We were going to be analyzing. So, but my friend had an issue with that, so we never did that video. And now we have reached the topic of, are we dating the same guy? Where me and my friend talked today and revisited the idea of a private group and someone going into that private group, getting information, publicizing it, which this man did. But also we talked about how ethical is, are we dating the same guy? How ethical is it in the first place? So let me quickly pull up Facebook. Because I wanted to go and see some of those groups to kind of understand what is going on. What is going on? What is that? What is that? What is that? And I wanted to quickly look at some of the rules. So first, let's look at, it's not pulling up for some reason. I'm looking at the screen, but it won't put it up here. That's where I need it. Which group? There are a lot. There's Knoxville, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Jersey City, New Jersey, Hoboken, New York City, Gloucester. Who is dating in a city called Gloucester? Disgusting. Long Island, a lot of New York based. I don't know what's going on in New York, but it's a lot of groups based in New York. That's all I'm gonna say. Here's one based in Connecticut. Let's see. I want one that has, there it is. Okay, I'm looking for a couple that have a list of rules so we can kind of get an understanding of what type of things go on in these groups and what type of rules there are around posting in these groups generally. Not every single Are We Dating the Same Guy group is going to have the same rules, but I want us to get a general understanding of their rules. That's all. That is simply all. So here's two. Let me get one more. I just want a third. Can I get a third? Can I get a third? Can I get a collection plate? I never post, I lurk. Okay, my friend said it's okay to be in the group, but it's not okay to post. Well, let me not bastardize her words. Because it sounded like if you see somebody getting lynched and you're not lynching them, but you just watch, it's okay because you didn't do it. You didn't participate. That's an extreme, obviously. Okay, so we're going to do just these two because I can't find a good third. And hey, maybe that's an indication, guys, that the rules are too loose and they should be more stringent. I can find more, but they don't have enough rules for me. I want stuff that has really, really robust rules. So let's put this one on the screen. And let's put this one on the screen. Thank you guys for being patient. Okay, so here is what I have. Let's do not New York first. Which one is this? Let's do Connecticut first. Hartford, Middleton, Connecticut. Since they had really long and descriptive rules. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Bop, bop, bop. There. Is it showing it to y'all? Oh, I'm sharing the wrong one. There. So let's see about this group. This group is a place for women to protect, support, and empower other women. A place where women can speak freely, openly, and honestly about the fear of harassment or intimidation. There are 4 main uses of this page. It can be used as a place where women can warn other women about liars, cheaters, abusers, or anyone who exhibits any type of toxic or dangerous behavior. It can be used to check to see if anyone has posted any warnings about someone that you're considering dating. It can be used to inquire about someone you're dating or may potentially date to see if anyone has had any experiences with that person. This is a safe place where women can ask for advice and relationship support, as well as post anything else dating related that can help bring us together, keep us safe, or help us help each other. We strive to cultivate an atmosphere of acceptance, inclusiveness, and support. We do not allow any bullying, gaslighting, shaming, victim blaming, or aggressive behavior towards any other women in the group. Racism in any form will lead to immediate banning from the group. So far, guys, I'm okay with the group. I don't have any moral, ethical concerns about the group so far from what I'm reading. Let's continue. This group is about protecting and empowering women, not judging men. We do not allow mean-spirited or judgmental comments based on a guy's looks, age, or occupation. Nor do we allow anything posted solely to make fun of anyone. Sounds like my channel. I'm on board. So let me see if I can come up with an example in my head. Let's say you're dating a guy and he says he's 22 and he owns his own business, or something like that. And then you go to these groups and you're like, hey, does anyone date this guy? I'm trying to make sure he's single and not cheating. And I'm trying to make sure he's not lying to me or anything like that. And you get a bunch of women in that thing saying, oh, I'm dating him right now. Girl, did he take you to get crab legs at this lobster place? Girl, he works as a server there and he gets discounts. He is not no business owner. He makes minimum wage, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and he's not 22, he's 40. Now, what this group is saying is, you can't say that this man at his big grown age is lying to people. You can say he is at a big grown age. That would be true. That would be factual. But you cannot make fun of him on that basis for lying about his age, pretending to be 22 while his knees are popping as he stands up. And you cannot make fun of the fact that he works as a server, waiter. You can't make fun of that. You can point out that he lied about being a business owner and he actually works as a waiter, but you cannot make fun of it. Are we all clear on the rules? Okay. Let's continue. We're nearing the end. Feel free to post anonymously if the option is available for your account. We will never reveal anyone's identity to anyone when something is posted anonymously. For the safety of others, do not screenshot or share anything you see in this group. We have very strict rules on showing anything from this group to anyone outside of this group, as well as speaking about this group publicly. Well, I'm not in the group, so it's fine. It's fine. As well as speaking about this group publicly. Anyone caught violating these rules will be banned. So I am banned from this space now that I have talked about it publicly, I assume. I should have read the rules before I should have read them before doing the live stream, because then I would have just went to a different group. But it's fine. There are several groups, and I don't live in Hartford, Middleton, Connecticut. So, period. Love that. Are we breaking the rules? Well, do these rules apply to people who aren't in the group? I feel like this applies to people who are in the group. So I feel like we're good. And at the worst, we're just banned from the group, which is fine, because I don't need to know, are we dating the same guy? I have a sixth sense. For the safety of others, do not screenshot or share anything you see from this group. As well as speaking about it publicly. We do our best to keep this space as safe as we can, but we can't guarantee that something said in the group won't be leaked by another member. Please be mentally prepared for the possibility that things you say here may get back to who you wrote about. We suggest posting anonymously, as well as making the detail of your story vague enough to not trace back to you. We have a network of over 150 groups with a total of roughly 3 million members, and we are completely run by a small team of volunteers. Try to keep in mind that we have jobs and lives outside of this, and that we can't always be available. Please be patient with the admins and moderators. Please make sure enough details are visible on your profile for us to ensure your account is definitely real prior to submitting a member request, or else your request will be denied. Please do not message the admins or moderators asking them to accept your member request. They then linked some hotlines, for example, the National DV Help hotline in SMS if you want to text, or website, online chat, etc., as well as the National SA Help hotline website and online chat. So they linked resources to women who may be experiencing DV or SA in the relationships with these men. You should really see some of the dudes in these groups. I'm a join one. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to see what's going on inside. But I feel like that's also like, isn't that a moral concern that I'm joining a group just to see the mess, but I'm not actually going to contribute? Isn't that a moral concern? Okay, now we can actually go through the rules. There are 10 rules. Number 1, don't screenshot or share anything from this group. These obviously are touching on things we already read in their about section, right? That we just went through. Don't screenshot or share anything in this group. You will be permanently banned from this group and all affiliated groups if you, quote, do any of these things. Tell any men about them being posted in this group. Share anything posted in this group outside of this group. Mention this group or the existence of groups like this on social media, on a podcast, on the radio, to the media, anywhere in public, to any male friends. We do all we can, but there is always a risk in speaking up. Be mentally prepared for the things you say here to get back to who you wrote about. Number 2, follow the guidelines for posting in this group. Don't include even a single remotely negative word or phrase in the post text or as text in any post photos. Include minimal detail in the post itself. Be vague and put all the details in the comments. Posts about guys are allowed to include a first name and photo, but no specific information is required. Do not include any other personal or contact information as listed in Rule 4. Don't post a man unless you dated him, are dating him, or may potentially go on a date with him. See, anyway, never mind. Because I'm like, wait, let me go see if I've been posted somewhere. I wonder if anyone has ever been like, I forgot my wallet on a date, and I remember the girl had to pay. I wonder if she wrote about it. I cash apped her at the table, like immediately. Literally, I forgot my wallet. I think I was rushing out the house and forgot it. And I didn't realize until it was time to pay. And I reached for my wallet and it wasn't there. And then I did the little thing, you know, when your phone not on you, and so until you can find it. It was a bad look, y'all. It was a bad look. But I cash apped the money. And luckily she had her purse. So I just said, here, I'll pay you here. And I apologize. It was nice knowing you. We can never talk again. We can never talk again. So yeah, don't post a man unless you dated him, are dating him, or may potentially go on a date with him. Rule number 3. Is Chrissy being messy? I'm in several baby mama / baby and baby daddy groups, and I don't even have kids. The drama. Oh, let me tell y'all, TikTok put something in my For You. TikTok just put a family court TikTok account in my For You, and I watched one, and I watched it all the way through. It was minutes long. And then I watched another one, and then I went to the page and I watched all of them. Family court drama is so funny, y'all. It is so funny. This man went in family court and said he was about to pay it. He was about to pay it, and he's upset because he had a tax return of $10,000 and the entire thing was garnished for his child support. So he went to court to talk about it because he was upset. And he was like, I literally told my baby mama I was just about to pay it. Why did y'all garnish my check? I was just about to pay it. Number one, he had to be at least $10,000 in arrears on child support. If you're paying like $250 a month, this is like 3.5 years that you've been about to pay it. So should I trust you for another 5 months, or should I be like, okay, at this point, you're not about to pay it. You're not about to pay it, so we're going to collect it. Then I'm watching this stepmom who is dating this man, married this man who is in arrears on child support. And she was surprised when she filed for her taxes and it was garnished to pay his child support because now they are a unit. And it was women in the comments talking about, this is why I file separately. And it was other women in the comments who were concerned because why are you dating a man who doesn't pay his child support or take care of his child? And instead of leaving him, you just file separately so y'all can keep dating, but they don't take your money. Anyway, I'm not here to judge anybody. Who am I to judge somebody? Who am I? So I'll stop judging now because that's not what this video is about. This video is not this video is not about those. Why one of y'all just message me one of these a screenshot from one of these groups? Are we dating the same guy? When y'all know that is against the rules, why are y'all messaging? Please continue to though. And in the screenshot the person just sent me, it's someone who carries a weapon and is unsafe for women and is threatening her, and she exposes him in this group for other women to watch out for him, which is what I'm going to get to, because I believe ultimately if these rules are being adhered to in the post, these women are saving other women's lives. So I'm concerned with why there is someone suing because women in this group pointed out that he was dating them at the same time, and he's trying to sue them for slander and defamation. But if I remember correctly, for you to sue for those things and win, the things that people are saying about you have to be false or defamatory in nature. So, but we're going to get to it. Let's quickly continue through these rules so we can get to it. Let's see. Follow the guidelines. In rule number 3 is follow these guidelines for posting in this group. You can ask for advice, post stories, and share resources here, but all posts are limited to a max of 4 sentences. Images of text conversations can't be in the main post and must be in the comments. Don't post faces of minors, photos with multiple people, or overly embarrassing photos. Don't post anything that will likely cause arguments, politics, finances, etc. Don't post about leaked posts, men's groups, group complaints, or media coverage of are we dating the same guy without speaking to admin first. Rule number 4, no personal info, doxing, or outside contact. Don't post or comment any last names, social media usernames, phone numbers, addresses, employers, or any other personal or contact information that would make it possible for members or bad actors to look up or contact someone posted here. Adding this information greatly increases the chances that they will find out they were posted. It's about protection, not retaliation. Don't look up, provoke, or harass anyone posted. Don't contact the spouse. Don't contact the spouse, family, or employer of anyone posted. So if you post this man in this group and ask, are we dating the same guy? And somebody's like, oh, that I know that man, he is married. You cannot contact his wife. According to these group rules, you cannot contact his wife and tell her. Now, I understand they're doing this to prevent the person who's being talked about from getting, from knowing that his information has been posted somewhere. Not even his information, literally just his name and probably a photo of him. And like, oh, we went on a date here. So not even really personally identifiable information outside of the picture and the first name. So I'm gonna give it a half and half here. I'm gonna say it is personal info, but it's not personal to the degree that I believe a person can be doxxed easily. So obviously, I assume somebody can reverse search and whoop-de-whoop, but it feels like there has to be a good amount of effort for someone to find these people who are posted here and harass them. So it's to legally cover themselves. That could be it too. It could just be legal. Legal business. Absolutely. So it looks like some of you guys are, sometimes the wives are already in the group. Yeah, I was going to ask. So if you find out someone's an abuser or something and you can't, this feels like at this point you want to, this is a rule I might break. Specifically, don't tell their wife that they're cheating on them. But yeah, if they don't want any problems, they don't want any problems. So let's continue going through and then we can recap at the end. Number 5, it's about protecting women, not judging men. Mean, judgmental, or unnecessary comments about anyone posted here will get you banned. Don't make comments based on a guy's looks, attire, name, age, or occupation. Don't comment on any guy unless you have personal experience with them or relevant information about them. Don't make jokes about anyone or speculate about men you don't personally know. Other women have different preferences in men than you. Respect them. Don't laugh, react at posts that aren't specifically meant to be funny. So it looks like some of these ladies were laugh reacting at some pictures of men. Maybe these men were not conventionally attractive. I don't know. I don't know the story, but it looks like they put some rules in place so that if you post a picture of a man and somebody laugh reacts at it, they're going to be banned because what's funny about this man and his belly that protrudes over his belt buckle? Like, that's something that some people like. And we shouldn't make fun of people's preferences. You know, nothing wrong with preferences. I know a lot of people who like big men. A lot. They say that they're like lumberjacks or something. They just like big men. I don't know what it is, but they like it. I love it. They like it. I love it. Number 6, no libel, defamation, or copyright infringement. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. We got to get this.
Libel.
Got it. No libel, defamation, or copyright infringement. No false information about anyone will be tolerated. Please be prepared to show proof of anything you state about any individual. You are posting at your own risk. If you don't have any proof of allegations you make against someone posted in this group, you are in danger of being sued for libel and or defamation. Don't post any pictures that infringe upon or violate someone else's intellectual property rights or copyrights. We do not accept any responsibility for anything you post or comment. So these groups, look, y'all, There's some level of accountability that you're gonna have to have if you're in these groups, because they said, look, hey, if you ain't got proof, I don't know what to tell you. That's out of my hands. That's between you and the state of Connecticut or whoever is suing you, because it wouldn't be the state, it would be whoever's suing you. Just delete the group. A tutor. I have a tutor. I just went to Google. 7, treat other women with dignity, care, and respect. Any woman who posts in this group should feel safe doing so and should not be the target of attack, harassment, or coercion. We don't tolerate any bullying, gaslighting, shaming, victim blaming, or aggressive behavior. Women get shamed and attacked for their opinions in society enough as it is. We don't have any room for that here. There's no room for tough love here. Always show compassion. We don't tolerate members showing hate towards or posting any other women in any circumstances. Be civil. Rule 8, be civil, understanding, inclusive, and calm. Hate speech or racism in any form will lead to immediate banning from the group. We understand that you might not agree with a person's opinions, life choices, preferences, etc. Do not push your views upon other members. Do not show hostility towards other members. If you can't word your disagreement in a civil and respectful way, don't say anything at all. If someone is mean or breaks a rule, do not start arguing with them. Report it and disengage. Arguing back risk removal for both of you. These groups are always post at your own risk, really. I assume there's some amount of risk that comes with it. Rule number 9, show patience and respect to admin and moderators. Don't post asking for admin. If you need help, message every moderator instead of messaging an admin. Be patient when waiting for a response. We can't respond to everyone. Don't argue with the admins or moderators. Show aggression towards an admin or moderator, or you will be banned. We'll remove any content that we believe may get flagged by Facebook. We may remove content without explanation. We may ban you for any reason. We no longer argue with former members about why they were banned. Interesting. Unnecessary comments. Rule number 10. Unnecessary comments bury any actual information and will be deleted. Don't push anyone to divulge information, particularly not, quote, for search purposes. Don't give advice unless the poster specifically asks for it. Don't question why someone chose to post anonymously. Don't promote, I can't see the bottom. Don't promote yourself, your business, or your event. Don't comment or joke about causing harm to anyone. Don't mention any other Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook groups unless they are also run by the same admins. No loyalty checks. Wait, no loyalty checks? What is a loyalty check? Because I feel like a loyalty check would be, are we dating the same guy? Is my guy loyal or is he dating one of you? So maybe I'm confusing that rule number 10, but it feels like no loyalty checks. Anywho, might as well just post booty. Maybe the girls are just posting booty pics in here. I don't know, because it does sound. Loyalty check is when people ask others to slide in their partner's DMs. People do it all the time. They said we're not that messy. Look, this is about, are we dating the same guy? Not would he date you if you slid in his DMs. Y'all are gonna have to go to another group for that. You're gonna have to go to your friend. You're gonna have to go to your friend and tell them to hit. Look, I feel like there are some men who will know this is your friend. This is your good, close friend. And she will start flirting with him because you tell her, I want you to test my man's loyalty. And he just flirt back. He don't text you and say, your best friend is flirting with me. He's just like, oh, I must be the ish. Even her friend wants me, so I'm gonna get my little on the side and yeah. And then feel surprised when it turns out, oh, this was a setup. I've seen this happen. That's why I'm talking about it. So those are the rules for posting. Or sign an NDA to join. Maybe, maybe, perhaps. So those are the rules for this first group. Let's quickly look at the second group since that was very long and see how much overlap that is. This looked like a copy and paste. Hold up. This group is a place for women to protect, support, empower other women. We can speak freely. We can warn other women about liars, cheaters, abusers. This is copy pasted. So this might be one of the groups where it has the same admins and it's just a different space. Okay, so we're not going to go through that because it's the exact same rules. I'm reading through them now. So let me quickly put a quiz in the comments. Not a quiz, a poll. No quizzes, no quizzes. I'm not here to quiz y'all. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not here to do that, y'all. No, I'm here for something much more serious. I'm here to talk about a man who got caught up in one of these groups and he got upset. What should the poll be? Do you support these groups' existence? Yeah, that can be the poll. Do you support these groups' existence so far, just based on what we've talked about? Or are you like, no, this group is not okay. It needs to be taken down. These men's privacy, it doesn't matter what they do. We shouldn't be exposing stuff, even if it's in a private group. So I'm just trying to see. We're just doing a litmus test. That's all. Just real quick. Just see what are we feeling? What are we feeling? Okay. So 95% of you are saying yes, you support the group. 5% are saying no, you do not support the group. So I'm going to quickly drop the link in case the 5% wanted to come up to explain why they don't support these groups' existence. There, now it's in the thing. So if you want to click that link, maybe within like the next 5 minutes, then we can talk about why you don't think those groups should exist. This isn't like, do you... Yeah. The question stands as it is. Now 7% are saying you don't support it. Ooh. So y'all don't support women's rights and women's wrongs? Because I watched a YouTuber say he supports women's rights and women's wrongs. Be sure to like the video, by the way. Yeah, I'm giving you guys a chance to use your voice. I want to prioritize your voice. And I just want to hear, like, what is the... I said no, but I'll explain. Okay. It's girls protecting girls for sure. I'm for the girls protecting the girls. So yes, absolutely yes. And yes, I support women's rights, but I love women's wrongs. Oh, they did say they can... My bad. You guys don't have to come up and speak about the group because I know there's a rule where they will ban you for that. So if you want to say something anonymously, I would suggest using like a different username than what you come up with, than what you normally come up with, or make sure you don't have personally identifiable information. I support the existence of these groups. F the ninjas. They lie so much and be putting people's lives at risk. Anyone remember that website, Ashley Madison? Ooh. I remember the Ashley Madison leak. I remember that. Let me see. Oh, it's still up. Interesting. Let me quickly put that up. Ashley Madison data breach. In July 2015, an unknown person or group... We're just stalling while I wait for those people to come up and explain why they why they voted no. In July 2015, an unknown person or group calling itself the Impact Team announced they had stolen the user data of Ashley Madison, a commercial website billed as enabling extramarital affairs. The hackers copied personal information about the site's user base and threatened to release usernames and personal identifying information if Ashley Madison would not immediately shut down. As evidence of the seriousness of the threat, the personal information of about more than 2,500 users was initially released. The company initially denied that their records were insecure and continued to operate. Because of the site's lack of adequate security and practice of not deleting users' personal information from its database, including real names, home addresses, search history, and credit card transaction records, many users feared being publicly shamed. The men's were mad about that. They feared. Who is singing "You Make Me Feel Like the Only Girl in the World"? Did y'all hear that? So one of my neighbors has picked up singing, or maybe practicing singing, because I feel like singing and singing good are different. So I feel like they are practicing singing lately. So I get a lot of that lately. I moved here; it was so quiet and peaceful. I have no idea what happened. My neighbors to the left get loud. My neighbors to the right have a cat, and this cat, I don't know what they're doing to this cat, but it is always howling in pain. And now my neighbors above me sing. That's their thing now. Very lively part of the apartment complex, apparently, right here. So, I mean, I yell through the walls. I'm sure I get loud when I'm streaming. Maybe they hear me over here talking now. Maybe. So maybe I contribute. Maybe they're singing to drown me out. Anyway, people feared being publicly shamed. Their fears proved well founded. On the 18th and 20th of August, more than 60 gigabytes, that is several megabytes, of company data was publicly released, including user details. The released data even included personal information about users who had paid the site to delete their personal information, since the company had not deleted the data that they claimed to have erased. Now imagine this for a second. Imagine you're on an extramarital affair website doing whatever you're doing on there. Now imagine you delete your account, but the company makes you pay to delete your data off of the account after you delete your account. So you pay to delete that data, only to find out it was never actually deleted. I feel like there are going to be some lawsuits in here if we read enough. The Ashley Madison leak was hilarious. Oh, it wasn't hilarious to those women. It wasn't hilarious to those women. Let's see. Timeline. They announced the at this time, we have been able to secure our sites and close these. So the Impact Team hacked it the first time. Ashley Madison said they secured their site and started working with law enforcement agencies and stuff like that. And then the site offered at that point to waive its account deletion charge. More than 2,500 customer records were released. The company initially denied that the main database was insecure and had been hacked. Then the data was released. Wow. Settled 24 lawsuits stemming from the breach for 11.2 million. 11.2 million don't seem like a lot for thousands of people. What is that, like $2 each? So each person whose extramarital affair was leaked got $2. Sorry. That is an issue. So, okay, I feel like I have a problem with the address and information where you can, like, I feel like addresses are not public information. Hold up, let me Google this real quick. Like, especially if you're a celebrity, and something gets leaked because your partner lives with you. So now we know where Taylor Swift lives because her partner cheated. That's gotta hurt. Now you found out you were getting cheated on, but also you gotta move. I'm sorry. Oh, that's public record. It's public record, but I still feel like it's like doxing. It's doxing. Like if I were to find one of y'all and put y'all address on the screen and be like, everybody, this is where this person live, I feel like that would be not okay, even if it's considered public record. So do y'all understand what I'm saying here? I think I have a ethical concern with this, even if it's not technically against the law. Well, I don't know if it's against the law. I would have to look into that. Impact and ethics. Oh, wow. They have an ethics portion. None of the accounts on the website need email verification for the profile to be created, meaning that people often create profiles with fake email addresses. Actually, Madison's company required the owner of the email account to pay money to delete the profile, preventing people who had accounts set up without their consent as a prank or mistyped email from deleting them without paying. Oh yes, just one of the pranks that homies like to play on each other. I created an account on an extramarital affair website. Gonna kind of cause some dismay in your relationship. Just a little joke from the homies. Oh man, you guys got me. My wife was pissed. I believe it. I believe it happens. Yeah, just some prank from the guys. And these people who were pranked by their friends could not delete these accounts without paying. So it's a very good prank. Hackers allege that Avid Life Media received 1.7 million a year from people paying to shut down user profiles created on the site. The company falsely asserted that paying would fully delete the profile, which the hack proved was untrue. Josh Duggar, a 27-year-old man who had become famous as a teenage member of a conservative Christian family featured on a reality television series, was one notable user of Ashley Madison whose data was breached. The released data included records of nearly $1,000 of transactions on a credit card account in his name. The news of the data release compounded his problems with revelations earlier that year about police reports of his sexual misconduct. And on August 20th, he admitted that he had been unfaithful to his wife. The data breach had quickly followed the release of a past police report alleging that he had fondled 5 underage girls, including a few of his own sisters. On August 25th, he checked himself into a rehabilitation center. So I'm just trying to frame a little bit like what people are upset at for being leaked. Some people are saying, I wasn't even on the website. My friends made an account to prank me, and now I can't delete it because it costs money. And even if I did pay to delete it, it's still there. So, people have that concern ethically. I'm sure that has happened. People also, it looks like, feel like, I guess Josh Duggar would say this made his relationship with his wife harder since now there is a record that he's on an extramarital affair site. And it also causes people to look into more of his history and highlight that, where he apparently fondled underage girls, including some of his sisters. And so maybe he lost good graces with the public and he's upset at that. Just looking at some concerns, that some people have regarding websites like these being leaked, their information being leaked, right? Which again, I have an issue when it comes to something like addresses and your first and last name and where you live. I understand there are some issues with this. It just feels like the specific stuff that people are upset at being leaked was not their address or something. It seems like they are upset that their extramarital affairs and other sexual misconduct that they're doing is leaking. Let's see. Following the hack, communities of internet vigilantes, not the internet, not the Redditors, began combing through to find famous individuals whom they plan to publicly humiliate. France 24 reported that 1,200 Saudi Arabian email addresses were leaked in the leaked database, which were further extortionable due to the fact that adultery is punishable via death in Saudi Arabia. So we have Saudi Arabians in a country where doing this can lead to you being killed, who are concerned that their accounts will be leaked and that they will be punished for this with death. So, that is a real concern. Do we feel like cheaters deserve to be put to death? I don't. I personally don't. So, I see the concern there. I definitely see the concern there. Several thousand U.S. military and government email addresses were registered on the sites. In the days following the breach, extortionists began targeting people whose details were included in the leak, attempting to scam over $200 worth of Bitcoins from them. One company started offering a search engine where people could type email addresses of colleagues or their spouse into the website. And if the email address was on the database link, then the company would send them letters threatening that their emails were to be exposed unless they paid money to the company. So look, guys, extortion, I believe extortion is bad. I believe extortion is bad. But do I believe someone cheating on their wife and that being made public is bad? I don't know. I don't know if I agree that that's bad. Let's continue. We're going to wrap this up shortly because nobody came up to say why they disagreed with these groups not existing. So I'm going to close that poll shortly, and then we're going to get back into the man who sued the Are We Dating the Same Person group. Let's see. So they found famous individuals extorting people. A variety of security researchers and internet privacy activists debated the media ethics of journalists reporting on the specifics of the data, such as the names of users revealed to be members. A number of commenters compared the hack to the loss of privacy during the 2014 celebrity photo hack, right? Remember, people's nude photos were leaked. A lot of celebrities' nude photos were leaked from a hack from Apple's cloud services, iCloud. So people are comparing this to leaking people's nudes. These are people's, private extramarital affairs, and you're leaking it. People, it seems like online, hold this equal to leaking someone's nude photos. So, there are those people who think those two things are equal. They certainly exist. I would disagree, of course, but they exist. Clinical psychologists argued that dealing with an affair in a particularly public way increases the hurt for spouses and children. Carolyn Gregory argued that social media has created an aggressive culture of public shaming in which individuals take it upon themselves to inflict psychological damage, and more often than not, the punishment goes beyond the scope of the crime. Graham Cluley argued that let me look up his name in this database and see, argued that the psychological consequences for people shamed could be immense, and that it would be possible for some to be bullied into suicide. So there are certainly people who feel like if the extramarital affair is leaked to the public and this person is shamed for it, they might be driven to unalive themselves. That is a concern that people have. Because the women often didn't leave. Oof. Let's talk about that. Charles J. Orlando, who had joined the site to conduct research on people who cheat, wrote of his he joined for a noble cause. He wrote that of his concern for the spouses and children of outed cheaters, saying that, quote, the mob, that is the internet, is more than willing to serve as judge, jury, and executioner, and that site members did not deserve a flogging in the virtual town square with millions of onlookers. So people are saying if you expose this child's mom or dad as a cheater, the child might suffer consequences from that happening publicly. That is a concern people have. And let's wrap it up. On the 24th of August in 2015, Toronto police announced that 2 unconfirmed unalives had been linked to the data breach, self deletion, right, guys? In addition to reports of hate crimes connected to the hack. Unconfirmed reports say a man in the U.S. died by self deletion. At least one self deletion, which was previously linked to Ashley Madison, has since been reported as being due to, quote, stress entirely related to issues at work that had no connection to the data leak. The same day, a pastor and professor at the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary unalived himself, citing the leak that had occurred 6 days before. Wow, a pastor and professor at the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, and his extramarital, his credential, his data was on the extramarital affair website, and it was leaked, and then he unalived himself, and he cited that. That's certainly very interesting. Users whose details were leaked are filing a $567 million class action lawsuit against Avid Dating Life and Avid Media, the owners of Ashley Madison. In July 2017, the owner of Ruby Corp announced the company would settle the lawsuit for $11.2 million. Okay. And then let's see. And they installed new security measures. Wow. Oh no, this is juicy. I just read the next part. Annalie Newitz, editor-in-chief of Gizmodo, analyzed the leaked data. They initially found that only roughly 12,000 of the 5.5 million registered female accounts were used on a regular basis, about 0.2%. The vast majority of accounts had only been used one time, the day they were registered. Newitz also found that a very high number of the women's accounts were created from the same IP address, suggesting there were many fake accounts. They found women checked email messages very infrequently. For every one time a woman checked her email, 13,585 men checked theirs. Only 9,700 of the 5 million female accounts had ever replied to a message, compared to the 5.9 million men who would do the same. They concluded that the women's accounts, quote, the women's accounts show so little activity that they might as well not be there. In a subsequent article following the following week, Newitz acknowledged that they had, quote, misunderstood the evidence in their previous article, and that their conclusion that there were few females active on the site had actually been based on data recording bot activities and contacting members. They note that we have absolutely no data recording human activity at all in the Ashley Madison database dump from Impact Team. All we can see is when fake humans contacted real ones. They noted that the site seemed to keep track of human-to-human contact, but that this data had not been released by the Impact Team. Okay, so it looks like initially, what it sounds like initially is that they might have uncovered some data suggesting that all of the women on this website are fake, and there's only 0.2. That is 0.2, 1/5 of 1%. A fifth of a single percent of women on this account may have been real, and the other 5 million women were completely fake. Fake accounts created to lure men into the website. Look, I know they said, I'm not sure how do I explain this? I'm not sure how. So you found that a high number of women accounts come from the same IP address, nearly 5.5 million, right, of these women all come from the same IP address, and all of the men have individual IP addresses. Like, I feel like I have some questions, like, why would, if these are robots, why would all of the IPs of the men come from 5.9 million different men, but only, again, only 12,000 out of 5.5 million female accounts come from separate IP addresses, and the other 5.5 million all come from the same address. It feels like there is very clear data that the women on this account are fake, and Ashley Madison made these women up and created like bots to lure men in and entice them with like, oh, somebody liked you, don't you want to see them, pay me money and you get to see who liked you and talk to them, when in reality it was just like a bot. It wasn't an actual woman. I certainly believe that. These people say, even though they have that data, that it's actually not the data. So I'll put a grain of salt here, because they're saying they don't have the data. But it seems like, I'll say again, it just seems like all the women on Ashley Madison were fake, and it was just a bunch of men trying to have affairs. That's what it seems like based on the data that was presented here. But again, they said that they don't have the data for human to human contact. They just have the data for fake humans. And all they can see is when fake humans contacted real ones. So, yeah, that's very interesting and funny. That's funny, because when we heard about the Ashley Madison leak, I was like, all of these men, it was so many men, public figures coming out. Not the men weren't coming out, but the info was coming out about them, and we were finding out they were having affairs. And now we learned that they weren't even having affairs with real. They did all this for robots. And look, we just talked about the rise of AI girlfriends on the last live stream this Sunday with Themis. We just talked about it. So I believe it. I don't know why I find that funny. It is absolutely not funny. It is absolutely not funny that men would ruin their marriages, their relationship with their wife and children, for a robot that does not actually exist, but that they're so desperate that even messaging a robot who, according to this data, that they don't worry, guys, they said the data, we can't take it as fact. So, grain of salt. But according to this data that they previously had, don't even message the men back. So you get on this website to cheat on your wife. Ain't no women cheating on their husband. It's 12,000 women compared to 6 million men. So, there's 0.02% of these people are women. And you get on here and you get all these matches. Oh my God. I was so worried that I was going to join Ashley Madison. I wasn't going to get no matches. But look at all of these women who want to talk to me, and all I have to do is pay $15.99. Don't ask me how I know the price. Relax. $15.99 per message, and I'll be able to talk to these women. So you pay $5 to unlock her and talk to her and match with her. Then you pay $15.99 to send that message. You're like, hey, girl, what's up? She don't say nothing back. So you pay another $15.99 and you say, hey, I don't know if you got my last message. I just wanted to make sure, because I know it's free for women to message and it only costs money for men to message. So I just wanted to make sure you got my last message. I didn't know if you got a notification, then you forgot. So I just want to remind you. Then you pay another $15.99 because the message has only 140 characters. Like I was saying, I just want to remind you in case you didn't get it. So yeah, I'm here whenever you're ready. I just thought you looked cute or whatever. And she don't message back, then you pay $15.99. You like, FUB, I don't want you anyway. Y'all know how men get when they don't get what they want. They will absolutely pay money to call you stupid. And I know this firsthand because I went to a club in Ohio. It's called Treehouse. I don't know where it is. I completely forgot what part of Ohio it was in, but I feel like it was the ghetto. Probably near Cleveland. I feel like Cleveland's the ghetto. But I was in Ohio. I went to this club called Treehouse, and he was asking for cover charges for men. But it feels like he was asking for me specifically. Like I feel like I just watched men walk in there, and then I get there, and you're like, oh, you have the wrong type of jeans. And I feel like, what do you mean you can't have jeans with holes in them? Why can't I have jeans with holes in them in the club? Why can't I have jeans with holes in them in the club? Why is there a dress code in the club for no holes in jeans? You can't wear hats in the club. Uh-huh. What happened to create these rules? Why can't I wear a hat in the club? Why can't I wear the snapback? Why? And why can't my jeans have holes in them? No jackets. No jackets in the club. What? Why can't I have a jacket in the club? Was it the one with the swings in it? I have no idea. I feel like I was very drunk. There might have been swings. There was an outside area, so. And D. Ray Davis was there. Let me see if I have this video. D. Ray Davis started roasting my friend, and my friend started roasting back. I was like, okay, D. Ray Davis just be out here at these cheap clubs. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Sorry. But yeah, I was frustrated. So we got pushed out of line. Again, I went to the car to get some jeans. I didn't have anything in the car. So we went to Walmart that was like 10 minutes away, bought some jeans. And I put them on, these jeans that were too small because they didn't have the right size. So now I'm at the club line in skinny jeans, back in the back of the line after I had already waited through the line, came here early because I know the line gets long. So we're going to beat the line, y'all. We come here and we have to wait in line, but not that much. Then we get to the front of the line. I got to change my pants because y'all don't allow holes in pants. Now I got to drive 10 minutes to go get some pants from Walmart and come back and wait in line again. Then I get to the front. And I feel like I just saw these men go in and I didn't see them pay nothing, but maybe they just have sleight of hand and it was just too fast. So yeah, no, it's a charge to get in the club after 9. I look at my phone, it's 9:01. maybe they just got in at the right time. And I was like, oh no, I was here earlier. Remember you told me to change the pants. So I just went and got some pants. So I was actually here before 9. Yeah, but it's 9 now. So you're gonna have to pay the cover charge. Fine, whatever. It's $20. I don't care. My friends don't have to pay. They're women. Besides the one man who I feel like even my friend in the friend group, I feel like even he didn't pay. Am I tripping? So apparently there's this charge at 9 o'clock where you got to pay to get in the club if you're a man, but only if you're me. Not like anybody else, just me. Anyway, so I paid him the money. Then I went inside and realized that because I had bad service, the Cash App hadn't went through. I didn't have cash, so he gave me his Cash App and I sent him the $20 and showed him that it sent. And he was like, "That you're good. Go inside." I went inside and found out the Cash App hadn't actually sent yet because I had bad service. So I canceled it. I canceled the Cash App and we just clubbed. He didn't say anything about it. Nothing happened. I think a couple months later, I was visiting Ohio again. We went to the same club. We had issues again with the same bouncer. It felt like he just didn't like me. And he charged $20. But this time everybody was getting charged $20 to get in because it was like after 12 a.m. or something. So cool, whatever. I'm not being picked out. You must have looked homeless. Never. When have I ever looked homeless in my life? Don't answer that. So the second time I paid the $20 on Cash App, knowing that I'm just about to go in the club and take it back. So I went in the club. I made sure to pay him while my phone was in airplane mode, showed him that I sent the payment, went inside. Keep in mind, this is like a big line. This is the line to get in the club. So it's like a really long line. So it's not like this man he just checked 15 people. Now he has to check 15 more people. I doubt he's looking at his phone to make sure all these charges are going through. All he wants to see is you've sent this payment, blah, 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 to the right thing. So I sent the payment to the right thing, went inside, and I undid it immediately so I could take my phone out of airplane mode and start recording and putting it on my story. I didn't want to take it out of airplane mode and that payment send. You got to understand I have to cancel it. Then I got to take my phone out of airplane mode in that order. I can't do it in reverse or that payment going send through, then I'm gonna have to request it back and he can deny it. But if I cancel it while it's pending, I've sent it, but it's pending because I don't have Wi-Fi, I'm good to go. He saw my screen and he saw that I sent it. He just don't know what's about to happen to him. So I went in, I got my cash back, and I used that $20 in the club. I swear I used that $20 in the club, y'all. Let me buy 2 people drinks in here. Drinks was $9 at the time. It's not like it is today where drinks are $17 for like these small, tiny drinks. It was back when drinks were $9, and that was very expensive back then. I definitely was like, this is a shot. This is a martini. This is What a Long Island iced tea. You can literally make these things for 50 cents if you have all the ingredients. $9 is way too much. Now drinks are $17 and it's getting crazy. So I should have liked what I had back then. Anyway, so I took the $20 back. Because why am I paying? I already don't like him. It was the same bouncer. I don't like this man. I remember his face. Even months later, when I got back in line, I remember this man's face. And he was talking the same. I don't know if you can get in like that. Those pants ain't gonna cut it. These pants don't have holes in them. What's wrong with them? They just not the type of pants to get in this club, man. Anyway, we negotiated our way in, paid him the 20. I took my 20 back. Later that night, it was either later that night or the next morning. Let me read what these Cash Apps say. Let me show y'all this, because I still have the Cash App records, y'all. You have all your activities on Cash App, y'all. I promise. All of it. It's all saved forever. Let me put this on the screen. Let me show y'all what this man sent me a Cash App request for when he found out that I took the money back. No, we got to put this on the screen. I promise this is related to the Ashley Madison. I'm just logging into Cash App. Where's my history? I should block this person. There we go. Let me screenshot this. So we don't get the PII on the screen. And let me blur his name out. Yeah, let's blur the name real quick and the Cash App tag. I'll blur the profile picture too. There. Now I can put it on the screen. Y'all, this was so funny to me. This was so funny to me. So he sent a Cash App request for $40. One for the $20 charge that I did months ago. I assume what happened is he looked at his stuff for the night. He saw that I refunded my $20 and it just went past him and he had no option to decline it. When he clicked on my Cash App tag, he must have saw another refund for $20 months ago. And then he sent me a $40 request for being broke. Sir, you got. Why are you sending me this request? You got. You wanted to charge me for wearing some pants with holes in them. You had a vendetta against me, and you're upset that your club didn't get your $20. I'm sorry that y'all revenue this year is only $300,000 and $5 instead of $300,025. Sorry, sir. I know that must really hurt y'all company over in Ohio. I'm about to look up this club to see if they're still in business. I know that $20 must have really hurt them for them to send this request for this funky ass $20. It must have really hurt their pockets for them to be sending a request saying you're broke. How unprofessional. How unprofessional. But yeah, if they're hurt, look, and if they're watching this, if you're really hurting for your $20, just let me know. I can see y'all the $20. I didn't have a lot of money back then. I can admit when I haven't been in the best financial position. I can admit when I haven't been in the best financial position. But now that I see you guys are desperate for that $20 back, you guys are really desperate to send me a $40 Cash App request for being broke. So I know that $20, you know what? I'll say 40, not even 20, 40, which is a much bigger deal. I don't know how that place is going to pay their rent without the $40. So, I'll reach out to them and make sure that they get that $40. I know it's very important to them and very urgent for being broke. No, sir, you're broke. I still have the $20. You don't. You're the one with empty pockets, sir. Who are you calling broke? The broke person is begging me for money. That's who's broke. Let me send a Cash App request to them right now for being rich. $40 for being rich. Since y'all have it like that, let me borrow some money. Let me borrow some money. I sent somebody a Cash App request one time and they thought I was sending them money. So they accepted their request and they sent me money. That was so funny to me. No, they didn't get it back. No, they got a lesson. You paid for a lesson. I didn't take your money. You paid for a lesson and you got it. You took his portion of the tip. Y'all think he got a penalty for that? Y'all think they were like, look, we're docking your pay. You let him get away with this twice. It's giving struggle. Thank you. This man is just struggling for $20. $20. You did all that. Anyway, so what am I talking about? All I'm saying is men will get upset, right? Men will get upset and they'll start messaging you something angry. So when I was saying he sends that $5 to unlock her, not knowing she's a robot, then he sends the $14.99 to talk to her, and he's like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" She don't respond because she's a robot, and he just got scammed by Ashley Madison, according to this data, right? Which they say is false. So he feels scammed. So he messaged, but he doesn't know. He's like messaging her again for $14.99. And they were just singing terribly. She hit that Alicia Keys note right there. Did y'all watch the Super Bowl? The first note. The first note. I mean, the rest of it was fine, but oh no. I felt a little embarrassment on like secondhand. I was like, oh no. Are you the criminal here? I don't remember the rules being posted about a $20 cover charge after 9. I didn't see that in the establishment rules. They better write it down on paper instead of taking people's cash to try and hide from the tax people. Maybe if they weren't trying to hide from the tax people, they wouldn't have learned this lesson. Give me cash or a Cash App to my private Cash App account as your cover charge. I don't recall that, sir. What are you talking? What criminal activity? I don't remember them having any cover charge. I saw a man who asked for $20 and I declined. That's all that was. There was no criminal activity here. Don't do that. But yeah, so these men will message the $14.99 and be like, "Hey, I don't know if you got my last message." Then they'll message again another $14.99 because they only have 140 characters, so they got to finish the message and like, "Yeah, so if you didn't get my last message, I just wanted to send you another message so you get it now." And then that final message, because guys will put in effort for that final message. They will go the extra mile to let you know they don't like you. They'll go the extra mile. We just went through this bouncer at this club for his funky $20, got upset because he didn't get his tax-free money. They will put in that extra message. So I do believe they will pay another $14.99 just to say FUB. That's the only reason I told that story. To say I believe men will absolutely pay money just to insult a woman who they feel like rejected them or ghosted them. Anywho. Oh, here we go. Final sentence. Do y'all hear her in the comments? Let me know if y'all hear her. Usher killed it though. I love a man who can skate. Look, y'all, I was watching the halftime show. I looked down at my phone for like 2 seconds. I looked up. Usher was naked. I was like, where did this clothes go? Y'all hear her? Okay, guys, for the next stream, I'm not gonna call the cops. You remember the last time I just went to my neighbors and I was like, "Hey, can y'all quiet down?" And they tried. They tried. They didn't, but they tried at least. Yeah, a copyright strike. Let me go up here and tell this lady, "Hey, is this original music? Because I can't have you." Feel better soon. Don't forget to like the video. Thank you, Chrissy, for the $10 super chat. I saw it earlier, but I think we were in the middle of that very engaging story. Be sure to like the video, guys, if you're in here. And subscribe if you're not already. I actually learned that a lot of y'all come to every single live stream but aren't subscribed, and I have an issue with that. You know what I should do? I should go over after the stream and I should be like, "Oh my god, I'm a super big YouTuber, super big. You've probably never heard of me, and don't look me up. And my subscribers, we heard you while we were streaming, and like they were so into it, and they really like. Would you be open to maybe singing a song for them on the stream? And then I'm gonna bring her here, and we can record the song together live, and y'all are gonna be on y'all best behavior. I just know y'all will." She do need a house for all. Like it sounds like you got a bass guitar with the speaker hooked up to the aux, and you just in a microphone. This too much. This too much for a studio. It's too much. But it might be different because it's a 1-bedroom over here, I think, and it's I don't know what's over there, but it seems big. So maybe like up there is 2-bedroom. I don't know. I don't know. I'll go talk to her. She has pipes though. Why don't you just start singing too? Nonsense though. Look, some people was fucking too loud, and I started telling them, "Hey, relax, please. Some of us are single and lonely. Haven't you heard of the rise of lonely single men? Just inconsiderate. A little quieter, please. I don't want to feel like there are some people who watch, like they sit in a chair and watch, and from across the room. I don't want to feel like that's me. I don't want to feel like I'm in the room just or in the closet just listening. Like I don't want to feel that close. So I need y'all to quiet down a little bit, please. Or go to like, would it be rude for me to knock on someone's door here and be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know the layout of the apartment is like your bedroom is on top of mine. So like sometimes I can hear like, so if you guys don't mind like refraining during 8 to 9 p.m. Because I fall asleep real fast between that time period. So like as long as you're after that or before, or maybe I don't know if you guys have a couch in the living room or something like that where you might want to utilize the coffee table or kitchen counter space. That way, like even if you're doing stuff, I would have to be like in the living room to hear it. And so, you know, I'd be able to sleep over there. And then, you know, maybe after 8 to 9 p.m., you guys can migrate. I'm sure you guys move around a lot based on what I've heard. So like it wouldn't be no problem for you to like start over here and then kind of migrate over there over the hour duration, even though it's usually like 5 minutes. So like 5 minutes of your day doesn't have to be right now. Like you guys know how weird it would be if I don't know, it was time to serve your children dinner or lunch or something, and you're like, "Oh, I'm about to use this 5 minutes to go work out on the Peloton." Like that would be really weird, right? Like look, you had the whole day to do this and you're choosing right now when your children are like whining and hungry. That just feels like a weird time. So surely you guys can just like kind of move that around a little bit. Like 5 p.m. sex is fun. Why don't you guys have sex during the daytime? Let's talk about that. Like, do you guys not want to look at each other? Like, what's going on? Because you can close the curtains maybe, and like you can limit the amount of light that's getting into the apartment. There are no windows on that side, so maybe if you know, let's work around it. Like the bathroom, you can utilize the bathroom space. Is your bathroom clean? Do you clean around the base of the toilet, or you guys have that stuff down there? Like you can really get. Look, you could be twisted up wherever you want to in there because it's designed to kind of keep the sound in. Like the structure of the bathroom is like different. The walls are different. So, you know, it's not like thin drywall like out here because, you know, they got to keep the moisture. I don't know, guys. I'm just spitballing I don't know what I'm going to say to them, but I'm going to ask her to come sing for us. and I'll ask them to have sex quietly, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. Call the police for an anonymous noise complaint. I can do that for her because she's not right beside me. If I did it for the people right beside me, I feel like it would be awkward coming outside and running into them. Hey, oh yeah, I heard somebody called the police on y'all for like being too now loud to the neighbors. That's weird. You said you talked to that neighbor and it wasn't them. Oh, maybe somebody above you. I don't know. Because sometimes you can hear from above. So, I don't know. Whatever, to protect myself. Anyway, so that was Ashley Madison. We just went through Ashley Madison because I wanted to understand some of just more about data breaches and information being leaked, which is what people have a concern with. So back to, are we dating the same man? Are we dating the same man? Let's quickly pull up this article. I don't know if it's on the screen right now. Oops. Okay, it's on the screen. Good. Let's quickly go through this article. This is important. Is it big? Yep. Are we dating the same guy? What to know about controversial Facebook groups at the center of the lawsuit. We made it here, guys. Only an hour and a half in. Hold up. If you ask her to sing, she's going to keep doing it thinking she ate. Oh my God, they love it. Have sex quietly. Like, come on. And it's not vanilla, by the way. Like, I'm sorry that I'm able to have sex and be satisfied without somebody choking me or tying my neck to the ceiling fan, spinning around and doing odd things. Sorry that I can have normal sex and be satisfied without nearly losing consciousness, buddy. Anyway, nothing wrong with kinky sex, but kinky sex that's very loud and the neighbors can hear maybe might be a concern, unless you're into that and the neighbors are into that. But you got to find neighbors who are into that. Anyway, a place to keep women safe or simply to gossip? That question is at the heart of a lawsuit recently filed against members of a social media group known for giving singles a place to share their experiences and dirty details about others on the dating scene. Are We Dating the Same Guy? A series of city and location-specific Facebook pages, geared towards single women, has become the subject of hot debate in recent weeks, as one man who was spoken about negatively in a Chicago area group has claimed the post constitutes defamation and an invasion of privacy. Oh, wow. So the Chicago group, I just clicked on a link to the Chicago group, and it looks like it is owned by the same people who... So they have, I'm looking at their rules. They have the exact same about section and the exact same rules that we read earlier. So in fact, these people have rules against defamation and other things like that. It isn't defamation if it's true, though. Oh, we're going to get into that. Because the Tinder swindler said, these women are lying on me. I didn't do all that. And then they came out with the actual family came out with a lawsuit saying, yeah, he did. So I feel like the men who get caught in these groups and become aware that they were caught and shared about in these groups do everything except saying, I didn't do it. Well, they do say I didn't do it, but then there's proof that you did it. And like, anyway, but yeah, the group that I just clicked on from that article has the exact same rules as the other one we read. So just letting you guys know. So he says it constitutes defamation and an invasion of privacy. Let's make a poll. Whoa, it's now gone. 87% of y'all support these groups and 13% don't. It just jumped way up on the no. What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna post a link and give y'all one more example. Yeah, we need Themis on retainer. Somebody contact Themis and ask him to give us his legal opinion on this. Let's see. Or I can ask him on IdGab if y'all can't get him for me. No mourning and enjoyment. How judgmental of you. Look, I didn't hear the woman moaning. It sounds like they need to stop whatever they were doing anyway, if only one person is moaning. I don't know. Maybe they have a kink where the woman doesn't orgasm at all. I don't know. I don't know their life. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. So he says he believes it constitutes defamation and an invasion of privacy. Does it? I'm not a legal expert. We'll wait to see if Themis is going to pop in. Y'all aren't friends? No, y'all know we hate each other. Like, we have a whole beef. Come on, guys. You guys know this. You guys know this. We literally fight all the time. Call the cops. I'll call the cops on the sex havers. I will. Are we dating the guy? Are we? Nope, already read that. Are we dating the guy? Yes, we are. Looks like we have a legal expert in the back. Cantoron, welcome. You were going to give your legal opinion on this?
Definitely not, because I am not a lawyer.
How do you feel about the man asking me for that $20 back? Was he wild for that, or am I out of pocket?
I didn't hear that part. What happened with the $20?
Some man tried to like take $20 from me, and he's mad that I didn't give it to him. Like, he's legitimately upset that he couldn't steal my $20.
Oh, he'll be all right.
Yeah, thank you. So anyway, the people in the comments were just talking about I'm a criminal because I didn't give this man my $20. They were really demonizing me, so I really appreciate you sticking up for me. But
did you know if he really need that $20 that bad? I mean, maybe he right. I know.
I hate when broke people just anyway. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with being like in poverty or.
Someone said that's not the story. What are you? Okay.
That's the story I choose to live. You can believe what you want to believe. I'm gonna start saying what these men Ashley Madison say. You can believe what you want to believe. My friends pranked me by making an extramarital affair account to seed mistrust in our relationship. Just an innocent prank. But you believe that I was cheating? What? You can believe what you. That's the number one thing that a man says when he's lying. You can believe what you want to believe. I saw you at the pool with them naked girls. You can believe what you want to believe. I wasn't at no pool. I tracked your GPS. You was at the pool. How do you even know I had my phone? Why are you tracking me? Let's talk about that. They try and deflect. Anyway, sorry, Cantor. Did you vote no as far as why you support?
No, I'm in support of the groups because if you're not lying and let's say you're telling the story like, oh, well, this is my story of like what happened to me on my date. You're really talking about yourself. I don't know what the legal like ramifications would be. I don't see this as any different from just talking to your friends like, oh yeah, so that guy I went on a date with yesterday did this, this, and this. Like word of mouth. I don't know what to tell you, sir. Why did you do XYZ?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the difference between like me talking to my friends and being like, oh my God, I went on a date with this girl and she pointed a gun at me and took all my money and ran. Like, oh my God, that was so crazy. And now I have a defamation lawsuit. Like, would there be grounds to give me a defamation lawsuit because I've talked about this with my friends? Is it different because it's online and more people can probably see it?
Yeah, but if you have friends, like I have friends that live in different countries. I have to talk to them either online or over the phone. So that's the same thing. If I were to call up or talk to a friend on like, I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, and they just happen to be in the UK and I'm here in the United States, like it's still over the internet.
Yeah, so I don't disagree, by the way. I'm shocked when I see the men in the comments of Abba and Preach's video they were talking about the Tinder swindler, for example, who got millions of dollars and was literally lying about who he is to the point where he's being sued by the family who he was claiming to be a part of, just like a degenerate person. And the men are in the comments saying, thank God, number one, they were happy that the women experienced that, and they were comparing this to just average women and how average women behave. Apparently, average women are swindling hundreds of men out of millions, according to men.
Most women are not trying to swindle the men. The men were probably trash on the date, and they just never wanted to speak to them again. And now the men are upset that they paid for the date and whatever else foolishness. Like
it's like when what's his name off of Fresh and Fit said, I think Destiny asked him, how many girls, y'all talk about this stuff all the time, how many girls do you think are actually getting flown out to Dubai from college? What percent of college girls do you think are getting flown out? He was like 60% at least. 60%,
definitely not 60,
are getting flown out to Dubai by rich men and then getting paid to be boo-booed on and like making millions on OnlyFans. Like, just, it feels so out of touch with reality. Abbott and Preach, I didn't watch the video fully, by the way. I read the comments, which is mainly where I was inspired to make this video. So I wanted to say, because I saw someone say Abbott and Preach in the comments.
I think I did watch that video you're talking about, where the woman was left at the restaurant. The guy went to the bathroom and just didn't pay for his drink or something like that.
Yes. So I just wanted to reiterate, I'm talking about the men who were in the comments of Abbott and Preach's video, who were some of the most highly voted comments, not necessarily Abbott and Preach's beliefs. Although I wouldn't be shocked if they shared this belief. I wouldn't be shocked.
I do wonder, going back to the defamation thing, like if they're not lying about this guy, what like, okay, what are you proving exactly? That they told the truth on you? I don't know what.
Well, some people, we can get back into the article. Some people are saying you went from being a guy who was known in this group in Chicago and probably to local Chicago women who you have all been dating. And now you are known as the guy who filed a lawsuit because women were sharing truthful information about you. And now you're known to everyone. Whenever anyone Googles your name, what they will find, any potential partner you have will find that you have a lawsuit against women who told the truth about you because you were upset and it caused you emotional distress, apparently. So we're going to get into that part. Purple Lover, you were one of the people who disagreed. You're on mute if you're talking. Going once. Going twice. Purple Lover has nothing to add currently, but when she's here, she's gonna have something to add. But she said she want to get into this. She want to get into this article. So let me quickly go through this. So he said he believes that the post that they shared about him, he says he was spoken about negatively in the group. I want to find out what is negatively. I want to see if their post is in here. This is a blind read, by the way. I haven't read this article. We're all reading it together. While defenders of the groups say that they are a place to let other women know about potentially dangerous or toxic men they may run across while dating locally, others have accused them of being places of baseless gossip and character assassination. This debate may soon make its way to court, which could shed light on how social media libel. Hold up. Let me pull it back up.
It's libel.
I trust you, but I trust Google more. Libel. Got it. I should have trusted you. I apologize for not trusting Black women. Libel. Let's see. Which could shed light on how social media libel and defamation is viewed in the courtroom. Wondering what all the debate is about? Here's what to know. What is Are We Dating the Same Guy? I'm not going to read this because these are the exact same group rules that we read earlier. The exact same, actually, from the same group that we read it from, the New York group. Are We Dating the Same Guy, also known as AWDTSG, is a network of 200 Facebook pages with more than 3.5 million members focused on sharing dating stories and experiences in locales nationwide. Geared specifically towards cisgender straight women who are actively dating male singles in the area, the groups cover large areas such as NYC as a whole and more specific locations such as Brooklyn. Pages exist for major cities and smaller towns and counties. While the title implies a specific focus on making sure singles in a given area aren't double dipping, cheating, or getting caught up in a love triangle. The AWDTSG network, I just feel like Are We Dating the Same Guy is shorter to say than that acronym. I don't know why. Focuses on local dating experiences as a whole. Women post screenshots of men's dating profiles to their specific city's group, asking for red flags or any tea, gossip, or information other members can provide. While similar groups have existed before, the first to specifically be a part of the AWDTSG network was created for NYC in March 2022. Generally, posts are supposed to include a name and photo, but no address, contact, or further personal information. Since its inception, men's rights groups. Oh, let me see. They link to a men's rights group. He has a whole dissertation on who is about to read this. Let me show y'all this. Look at this man then wrote, this is his experience with Are We Dating the Same Guy? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Maybe we can read the men's issues with this. If this just feels really long to read. Do y'all think we should read it? Put a 1 if you think we should read what men's rights group have an issue with on it.
I can guess.
All right. We have one person voting 1. Put a 2 if you think we should speed past it. While I'm waiting for the 1s and 2s. So since it was created, men's rights groups have targeted it as a toxic force, launching Reddit pages and mass reporting campaigns to get the groups removed. Similar groups geared towards men called Are We Dating the Same Girl have spawned in some cities as well. Interestingly enough, men's rights are quiet about this. With more than 11,000 members. The group describes itself as, quote, a place for men to protect and empower other men while warning each other of women who might be liars, cheaters, scammers, or exhibit any type of toxic or shady behavior. Maybe what I could do is join both Are We Dating the Same Girl and Are We Dating the Same Guy groups and see if there are differences in each. Because I feel like if I go to the women, they're going to be like, this man is abusive, this man put his hands on me. And if I go to the men's, they're going to be like, this woman made me pay for dinner and then we never had a second date. Based just on what I see men talk about online compared to what women talk about online, I feel like these groups would be a similar vibe. I have 1 1, 2 2s, 2 1s, 2 2s. Okay. Tied. Can't run doesn't count. The group describes itself as a place for men to protect and empower other men, warning of other women who might be liars, cheaters, scammers, or exhibit any type of toxic or shady behavior. Although some comments make remarks about the attractiveness of women posted in the group. Oh, so they have a little rating system. The men got together and have a little rating system for the women. Instead of like, this woman is toxic, it's more like, I think she's ugly. Do you guys think she's ugly too? Interesting. So they have some posts like that. According to founder Paola Sanchez on arewedatingthesameguy.com, maybe I can get an interview with her. I have some questions. AWDTSG is a safety support community of over 200 groups totaling over 3.5 million women. We do what we can to help women navigate today's dating landscape. The site's testimonial page, now I have to look at that, is filled with screenshots of messages in posts from members of the group, seemingly thanking the creators. On this page, the network of AWDTSG groups is described as a resource to keep women in the dating scene safe, saying tens of thousands of women around the world have told us they felt safer, escaped a bad situation, have avoided danger, or have been better prepared when meeting someone for the first time due to our communities. The website likewise features a resources tab that links to the state-by-state sex offender search engines and court record searches. Typical post in the group. That's very helpful, actually. I wonder if the men have that. It links to a state-by-state sex offender search engine and court record searches. That is so useful. Imagine if you're in this group and you're dating a man and you search his name in this resources tab tool that they have. Wow, look, I just clicked on it to go to the site. So they have their own site where you can literally go right here and search whatever state you live in and see, is this person on a registry? Do they have any violent history, any convictions, any marriage records? I'm not upset. I'm still not upset so far. I know 7% of y'all voted no. Y'all don't support the existence of these groups, but I'm still not upset so far. I'm still not upset.
Do you think you could check to see if the men's group has any resources like that? Because honestly, I don't have a problem with them having are we dating the same girl? Especially if, like, the resources are saying, like, well, most sex offenders are not women, but like,
look,
are they a sex offender? I have children. Like, I wouldn't even have an issue with that.
I absolutely support men having a group where they have a list to sex offender registry to find out if the women that they're dating are sex offenders, or if they have any violent arrest history, or if they are currently married while talking to these men. I absolutely support that. I'm sure that's what's going on in the men's group. I'm sure they're not just getting together and calling women ugly who they date and making fun of them. I'm sure that's not what's happening. I'm sure they have resources where men can make sure that they are dating women safely. I absolutely would support that. Absolutely. But I guess I'll find out when I get in that group. Purple Lover, you had something you wanted to say earlier.
Yeah, I am with all the other people that thinks it's a good idea for women. These women are simply trying to protect themselves. And I don't see anything wrong with that, especially when what you're discussing is public information. Like, this is information that you can look up in any standard, decent Google search. So it's not like they're doing something out of the ordinary. And as far as defamation, that's going to be really hard to prove because you need to prove a malicious intent and the impact that has had on you financially as well as other factors. I'm not an attorney, so I can't go into all those details. But just telling the truth is not going to be defamation, especially if you're not having a malicious intent, trying to protect other women from being harmed by men that you are finding problematic.
Okay, yeah. And if, like, the details of this lawsuit are they leaked my address and they leaked like personally identifiable information about me, or trying to dox me or threaten me, come to my workplace and harm me, like if that's what the lawsuit is about, I might even be in support of the lawsuit, because I believe that would be, in my opinion, immoral, even if it's public information, your address and stuff like that. If you're like inciting people to go to this man's house and picket fence or throw rocks at him, like, I would completely support that lawsuit. But I feel like as we continue reading, I feel like the details are the lawsuit are going to be they told the truth about dating me and shared it with each other.
And see, I can support if it's a malicious intent, an actual defamation lawsuit. But just because I told the truth, hey, I dated this guy, he was problematic. Here is how he was problematic. So just be aware, if you're choosing to date this particular man, these may be real issues that you have to contend with. I don't see where that's an issue, because it's no different than me meeting you at the store and saying, hey, oh, you know this guy too? Yeah, he was a real problem when I dated him.
Okay. Cantor, anything to add before we go back to the article and get into the actual lawsuit?
What I have to say is more so it has to do with like the consequences of, let's say the court system does say that you can't have these pages. Like, I have something to say about what the possible consequences are, but that's a little bit later. So you can go ahead. I'll just wait for that part.
Okay. They also had some testimonials. I want to quickly go through some of these shorter ones. This one says that the group has been her savior. She talks about how scary it is that there's no set standard of ethics. By simply searching the first names of men, she says she's avoided going on dates with domestic violence perpetrators, men with wives at home, men with very recent DUIs from which her cousin died, a man who claimed to have one child but had six with all different mothers, and most recently, a man who was responsible for two infants being life flighted to a hospital because of lethal amounts of meth in their little bodies. These claims were all verified by public records. Their full names were readily available by phone records, but this group made it faster, easier, and safer because I didn't risk a first date with a ARPist before getting delayed background check results. For all intents and purposes, these groups are a glorified private group chat. I have seen the admins quickly and diligently take down everything that has been shallow, judgmental, inappropriate, invalid. My own posts have been taken down even if they are memes. These are women posting about genuine interactions that they have directly had with a person. It is not insults. It is real. If a man didn't want to be called clingy or terrifying, he shouldn't have acted that way. Women stick together and we will always find a way. Ban this one and there will be another more private that cannot be legislated. But I beg of you to keep this safe space available for people like me that want to date safely and find my person in a sea of red flags and fear. Thank you. Aubrey from Idaho. So that's very compelling to me. Here, one is pointing out the fact that 24 people per minute are victims of R, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in America each year. Women are 3 times as likely to be the victim to these behaviors. 3 times as likely to be injured by an intimate partner, almost twice as likely to be the victim of severe physical violence. So a lot of statistics here, just kind of explaining why she thinks this group is important. Let's see. She talks about the fact that men don't face the same scrutiny for beauty ideal and standards, nor are they held accountable for their aggressive behaviors appropriately either. If you beat a woman to a pulp and put her in the hospital in this country, it's the woman's obligation to pay legal fees, to take him to court, to prove she was beaten, offer him to maybe get a year or 2 punishment, maybe probation. Meanwhile, she has to take time off work, hire attorneys, get medical treatment, and until there's a verdict, all of that comes out of her pocket. So she really goes into this, just why she feels like this group, number one, free speech is protected, she says, and it's protected to keep us protected, and how websites like this keep women safe from men like that. This woman says she's never had friends growing up, and how dating is hard because she's divorced, but all her friends are married, and they have zero idea how difficult it is to date in today's confusing dating worlds. She says she was married to a woman for 11 years and only had a handful of boyfriends in her life.
Play your didgeridoo. Give her some music.
I'm gonna start since they want to. Cool. We all like music here. Love it. Bet. Without this group, I would have quit dating and felt like a complete victim because I would be too scared to do it on my own. I'm so thankful. Let the red flags fly high and the tea spill. Before I found my boyfriend, as I was going on dates with dudes, I would search their names in the group. One of the dudes was known to sexually assault and be very violent with women. I was able to avoid this situation due to this group. The Atlanta page helped avoid me putting myself in vulnerable situations with multiple men convicted of child abuse and DV charges. Also helped me avoid men lying about their age and marital status in an attempt to lure women into romantic relationships with them. Look, y'all, I'm not seeing the downsides yet, especially if, according to these women's claims, the group is actually diligent about removing information that is not supposed to be there and keeping this a group to protect women, not to like slander men or something like that. I'm not seeing the downside. I'm not. let's see. To continue. Typical post in the group may entail a woman describing a poor dating experience she had with a single in her city, a message warning others about a man who has been caught allegedly cheating or harming women, or a screenshot of a dating profile and name with a question like, has anyone gone out with this guy? Is he okay? While many members argue these posts are focused on safety, others argue they are not much more than gossip. Ooh. And it leads to a Vice article on, are we dating the same guy? The dark side of these online groups. Maybe we will look at that. But I want to get into the lawsuit quickly. Last week, a Chicago man, this was in January 2024, by the way, I believe. A Chicago man took his distaste for the group's premise further, filing a lawsuit in the district court for the Northern District. Just got a boop. I just got a boop. It better be Themis saying I'm on the way immediately to give my legal opinion on this matter. That's what it better be. It's not. My Instagram reel has more than 2,000 plays. Yay. My Instagram memes are doing nicely lately, so that's good. If you don't follow me on Instagram currently, you can. It's open in public. But also, I don't post about anything that I do here on Instagram. So if you're going there expecting social justice warrior petty, you will not find it. But you will find some entertainment. So yeah, I'll just plug that there. In the District Court of the Northern District of Illinois, he filed a lawsuit against 27 women, one man, in Facebook. In Facebook itself for their involvement in AWDTSG, alleging that a negative post made about him constituted defamation. The suit, filed by Nico D. Ambrosia, very important that we know his name, also he was concerned about his privacy, so he did this lawsuit. Also alleges the post about him in the group violated anti-doxing laws and his rights to privacy. And now that is something I would be more concerned about. The defamation, if people are in this group saying you're ugly or something and you feel like it's defamation, or they're saying they had bad experiences with you and you feel like it's defamation, I don't know how you're going to prove that. I don't know how, if I'm being honest. And I don't know if I want people saying they had bad experiences dating you to be considered defamation. I don't know that I want that precedence to be set. But let's continue. The lawsuit likewise alleges that thousands of men have been similarly disparaged, many without their knowledge, and claims posts are not subjected to fact checks. D. Ambrosia has asked for a trial by jury and damages exceeding $75,000 for emotional distress, humiliation, and reputational damage that resulted in lost earnings. He is also seeking injunctive relief to forbid future posts being made about him. He likewise named several subsidiaries of Meta, Patreon, GoFundMe, and the arewedatingthesameguy.com website in the filing. In response, Sanchez has raised more than $30,000 through an online fundraiser aimed at supporting AWDTSG's legal fees in the lawsuit. Sanchez and D. Ambrosia did not respond to the request for comment. That's what I want to know. I want to know. So let me see.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Does it tell you where to go support them financially defending themselves in this lawsuit?
I'm about to see.
Because I feel like this group need to stay, and I would donate money just so that they can fight the lawsuit.
So let's see.
I agree, because women have the right to protect themselves.
I'm on their website. They have a contact. I could ask them. Hold up. I'm looking for info. to see where we can support. You have been promoted. You are now one of my new employees. Have y'all seen this? Nope. I just sound crazy. Okay. Online fundraiser. Okay, let's see. Let me search her name. Are we dating the same guy? Paola Sanchez.
Did what you just said come from TikTok or somewhere else?
Create a safe platform. So let's see. This campaign was originally started after It's their mistake. I see a GoFundMe that is active. And an update as recent at
At this point, just give her a segment in your show.
Yeah, she's getting more and more clearer as the live goes on. And your face is priceless every time she starts.
Yeah, I mean, she Taylor Swifted up CeeLo Green's Crazy. Just whited it up. Removed all the flavor. That's interesting. Have you ever seen people do that? I saw a group of white people and they were like, now watch me whip. Now watch me nay-nay. Just took all the spice out of the song. That was interesting.
Have you seen the choir that did it? That just stole all the soul out of a song? It's getting hot in here. That version, that was painful.
Do you know who it is?
It sounds above and to the left. So I'm going to go to the apartment right above mine and go one to the left and see if it's her.
I was about to say, if you had her number, go ahead and tell her we got requests.
Oh my God, we love your music. Please come and sing for us. And then once she gets on the live, y'all, and she's like sitting back here, I'll buy a second chair so she can sit and play her guitar. As soon as we start the live stream and she's about to play, let's be like, I lied, we hate your music. And y'all just start commenting rude things. I lie. We hate it. We hate it. Stop singing. Stop. Please. You can't stand it. Anyway, no, I wouldn't do that. That would be very rude. There is a GoFundMe, and it's called Create a Safe Platform for AWDTSG from Paola Sanchez, the creator of the group. She says she first started some of these groups to help solve some of the problems and dangers me and my friends were experiencing while dating. We hit on a winning formula and have grown to have over 200 groups with over 3.5 million members. And it hasn't come without struggle. She started this campaign when Facebook abruptly disabled all of their admin accounts at once, greatly crippling their ability to effectively keep the group safe. They eventually reversed the mistake and reactivated some of the accounts about a month after deactivating them. So they that made them realize they need something better. They started building a new platform for the Lord's work that they're doing and realized they need more resources. 100% of all money raised from this will go towards the design and development of an app or any necessary help in running the groups. I don't know if this is specifically the fundraiser for helping their legal fees as well, but the article that we were reading didn't point to that website. So this is the only thing I know of that they have for support. They have an Instagram account. Let me see if there's anything on there. Yeah, I think she's crazy.
I do think that let's
Probably.
like worst case scenario, they decide that well the courts decide that you can't have groups like this. The men who are already single and complaining about loneliness, all they're doing is pushing the women who are using these sites to like protect themselves away from dating altogether. So, I mean, that's on them. More and more women are just going to stop dating them.
So this is at least for them to develop an app, it looks like, but I don't know if this is for legal fees. So if you guys want, I can put this in the description after the video post if you guys want to help them in some way. Um,
Petty, your face.
no, I'm sorry.
It's okay. But to what you were saying, I don't know the lady that was speaking, her name, I do apologize. But to what you were saying, what you're talking about is already a trend anyway. So you're right. All they're going to do is just push women to this like, well, F it then. If I can't even do things to protect myself, then I'm not going to be willing to take the risk. So I don't blame them at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's already, like you said, it's already happening, but it's like, yeah, push even more women who are already at least willing to date away from dating. Because a lot of us, like, I can talk for myself. I don't even try. I don't care.
I'm in my hermit phase happily.
Right. Peaceful.
Look, according to them, I hit the wall, and I hit that wall and enjoyed every bit of it.
This wall nice over here. This wall real nice over here.
Heck yeah. It's so peaceful.
So the reason I even found that GoFundMe is because there's a subreddit called "Are We Dating the Same Guy Is Toxic?" Sorry, I did not hear what you said that well because I was very focused on the lady singing, which was still loud in here if you guys didn't hear it. So I do apologize. But the reason I even found that out they have a GoFundMe is because there's a post on this subreddit saying that "Are we dating the same guy is toxic?" and inciting young men to go and report it. So yeah, "Are we dating the same guy?" is currently fighting a war.
Of course they're going to say it's toxic because these are the same type of men that talking about that women are gold diggers and don't even have pyrite to dig for. Less more gold.
Look at some of the posts they're upset at. Let me see. Trashy woman posts a photo of a man and the woman he's seeing. She's scolded by the hive mind, saying it's unfair she gets to stay anonymous while the other woman is posted for all to see. They're upset because the women didn't say it's a problem to post a man's face, but they said it's a problem to post a woman's face. Wow.
I do think that all this is going to do is either women are going to find more discreet ways to do the same exact thing anyway, where you can hide it a little bit better from men that are complaining, or they're just going to not date.
Exactly, because who wants to become a statistic for somebody?
They're upset. Ladies, advice, please. I met an amazing man on Facebook dating. We've been dating for 2 months, texted a month straight before meeting. He is and has been very respectful, and conversation is off the hook. Long story short, he checks all the boxes. He has my heart, my mind, and gives me butterfly, except PP is tiny. It's a purple pickle emoji. What would you do? And the men in this subreddit were upset, and they were like, how is this protecting women? There is no like man's face in this, by the way. It's just an anonymous. Here, let me.
She didn't even mention his name or anything, did she?
They're upset because these ladies said she was dating a man Didn't name him, didn't like refer to any personally identifiable info. Just said she was dating a man, and he was perfect, but his PP was small, and they're upset. And this is one of the reasons they want to report the group.
But that post doesn't even say who it was. Like, it doesn't give any identifier other than it's male.
Sounds like they don't want women talking at all, and it has nothing
That's
to do.
exactly.
Oh, well, that's going to happen anyway. So, like, get over it.
Some pick me throw them in the group. Possibly. And she's probably still single. Ain't that crazy? It's weird to me. I never make fun of someone being single or anything like that, but it's so weird to me when pick-me's are single. It's so weird. Like, all this effort, you would think that somebody would. I remember Melanie King or some big YouTuber, and this other big red pill YouTuber, mediocre tutorials or something like that, met up in real life, and he was like rejecting her advances, and people was making fun of her because she just dedicated her life to being mini Kevin Samuels, and she still can't get the men in that space to pick her. It was so wild to me. Like, all this effort, you done built this whole YouTube channel on just trash talking women and talking about how awesome men are and how lovely men are and how modern women are a problem, and we need to do better, ladies. And these men don't even want you. It's just a crazy paradox to me. It is a crazy paradox to me. Let's see. So the men were upset, to say the least. The men were upset. Why are we here? Oh yeah, the details of the fundraiser. So I'll put a link to it in the comments real quick. Be sure to like the video, by the way, guys, if you guys just got here, and subscribe if you are not already. If y'all are going to be here every week, y'all might as well be contributing. Also, a 3,000 subscriber honest Q&A is coming up, and during these I always am 100% honest, and then private the live stream after. So you can ask questions and receive no BS during that live stream. Whenever I reach 3,000, I do it for every 1,000 milestone. So I put the link in the comments. I'll put it on the screen briefly, and I'll put it in the description, because I believe I would support this group, especially if they're facing litigation, right? Because I think the group is important, and I actually would support its existence. I know 7% of you said, now 17% of you say you would not support these groups' existence. I'm very curious about that, but nobody came up to describe why. Like, I'm sure there are some people who feel like these groups should not exist. I just don't know why exactly. So yeah, I would love to know. Like, I would love to hear from the other side. I would love to hear that. Sh5N15 says she was on the road, but she got a reason for us. I feel like she's going to come up and troll. I feel like y'all are going to come up and be like, oh, I disagree.
This lady is not going to stop singing. She has a whole concert going.
A whole concert. Like, I'm going to knock. Should I knock on stream and just come back after a couple minutes and let y'all know how it goes? Or should I wait until after the stream? Like, do y'all want some hold music for 5 minutes while I go figure this out? I'm gonna name drop Alicia. I'm gonna be like, oh, there's this YouTuber called Alicia, and like, she had this great recommendation for you. She was like, you have to learn vocal range so that we don't hear you. I'm gonna name drop Alicia for clout. I'm gonna be like, oh yes, this is my friend on YouTube. Yes, she is like she had, look at all these views, look at all these subscribers, and she was very interested in, like, she and my other subscribers were very interested in just like hearing you. Like, would you just come down for one of our streams? Like, we could do it tomorrow, and you could just set up the guitar back here, and we could just snap along. Or I don't know what white people do. I feel like they snap. All snaps, no claps, right? So, like, yes, please come and bless us. She would love that.
Does she do this a lot, or is this the first time you've like heard her doing all of that?
This is the first time I've heard her. I heard a man singing a few days ago for the first time some Mexican music. This is the first time I've heard her singing. And just recently is the first time I'm hearing all this noise generally. Like y'all remember on one of the last streams, I had to pause the stream and play some hold music and go over and knock on my neighbor's door and tell them to simmer down a little bit because I was trying to like I'm recording and stuff. I've also had these neighbors, their cat is just loud. They're not loud. They're actually real respectful generally, unless it's football day. I have no idea what it is about Sunday that has these people yelling at their screen, yelling, a man specifically. But the woman over there, I never hear her. She's like very quiet, very respectful. The man, quiet, respectful, always yelling on football day about nothing. Oh my God, the ball, get the ball. Who cares? Anyway, their cat's loud, but who cares? And then now upstairs singing. And I heard some people having sex once in my bedroom, and then once while I was in the living room. I remember because I was talking on the phone. I was like, wait, hush, hush. I was just hearing noises, and then I heard them finish. They finished very loud. Excuse me, he finished very loud. Like it just feels like everything was drained out of him. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard them since. This poor man was effed to death. To death.
Maybe she literally snatched his soul.
A succubus or something. Snatched, soul snatched. I've never heard someone this loud have everything taken from them. And since that day, I have never heard them have sex again. Never. I don't even know if this man is alive.
I was about to say he died.
I didn't hear anything from her though. So that was true when I said that earlier. Sounds like the orgasm gap is alive and well. Alive and well. So
that may be why you never heard from him again.
She snatched his soul.
I wish the article went more in depth about the legal proceeding, but it looks like it's just started in late January. So there are not a lot of details out about it yet. But I feel like we should definitely keep up with this not yikes, with this proceeding. Like I feel like I should find the court case and we should stay updated on it. Let's see. Nope, I can't find any more info on the lawsuit. But I did find this. This looks pretty good as far as giving some info about the legal side of this. Are we dating the same guy? The legal implications of posting your dates on Facebook. Let's see. These groups are everywhere, starting in New York. The women share screenshots. Purpose is to provide women a private platform to collectively enhance their safety by identifying potential dangers. But be warned, a private Facebook group is not private in the eyes of the law, and women can be sued for things they post in these groups. So this doesn't seem to be necessarily supporting any side. JDS Supra. Let me see what this is. Is it like a legal something? No, just the article. People. JD Supra. I'm trying to see, are these people like legal experts or are they just talking? JD Supra is a daily source of legal intelligence on all topics, business and personal. Commentary and analysis from leading lawyers and law experts. Okay, so apparently these people work in law. I'm still going to say grain of salt. Grain of salt. But yeah, in the eyes of the law, these groups are not private. Just last week, a man sued 27 named women in a group of women who posted anonymously as Jane Does. So it's a group of people singing? I just heard multiple people laughing and then a guitar strum. So I feel, anyway, sorry. This is not the first time a man has sued the women posting about him in a subgroup. Do you want to minimize the chances that you will be sued for something you post in an Are We Dating the Same Guy group? Consider the following tips before posting. And it says, what women need to know before posting a man in an Are We Dating the Same Guy group. Number one, your post may give rise to legal claims. All women publishing in the Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook groups should keep in mind that all internet publications have the potential to give rise to legal claims. Men posted in Are We Dating the Same Guy groups often have legal claims against the posters for defamation, harassment, privacy torts, among other claims. Women posting about men they date should stick to verifiable facts and consider the following legal claims that can be brought against women who go too far in describing their dates. So it sounds like, look, if y'all can find that marriage certificate and prove that this man is married, you're good to go. But make sure that you are sticking to verifiable facts. I do think this is important because I assume this is what the men want, right? The men want to make sure, the men don't want to stop women from being safe. I hope they don't. I hope they just want women to make sure that they're posting verifiable facts about these men. And to the extent that they can't verify these facts, that they don't go too far into describing their dates, or else they might run into these things. Defamation. In the United States, the First Amendment protects a person's right to free speech, but the right to free speech is not absolute. While specifics vary from state to state, defamation generally occurs when a person publishes a false statement of fact about another person that injures the subject's reputation. While posting about a true dating experience likely does not give rise to a claim of defamation, women in the Are We Dating the Same Guy groups may take statements too far. Exaggerating or fabricating an experience likely takes speech outside the scope of the First Amendment and into the realm of defamation. Although it's typical for group moderators to approve statements prior to their publication, women should exercise caution and not rely on a moderator's judgment as a false sense of security. Moderators lack firsthand knowledge of the facts of each woman's unique situation and likely are not well versed in the relevant legal principles needed to safeguard the publisher. Ultimately, you are responsible for what you punish. So it seems like they're recommending that you don't exaggerate something that happened on the date, and that you just stick to truthful facts. So if this man walked out on dinner, say that. As a matter of fact, Abba and Preach's video where I found these comments where people were upset at groups like these, they were talking about a girl who went on a date with a guy and was talking about the date. So, you know, she didn't sensationalize it, and she was like, he turned into a scat pack or something. I don't know what that is, but I hear a lot of people say it. He turned into a scat pack and zipped out of there. Like, no, she was just like, we were on the date, this happened, he left me with the bill and I had to pay it. Make sure you're sticking to truthful facts like that and you're not sensationalizing things, or that might fall into defamation, ladies. Just making sure you guys are aware of that. Online harassment and cyberbullying. Generally, harassment occurs when an individual is targeted by another person with repeated and distressing course of conduct that threatens the subject's mental health or safety. Telecommunications harassment or cyberbullying is a more specific form of harassment that occurs on the internet. If I'm ever pausing and just looking at the screen and y'all don't know what's going on, that means the singing is very loud. I'm just not sure if y'all hear it or not.
Oh, we definitely hear it. I know I do because I wear headphones so I can hear all of what's going on as you pause.
I'm just over here dying laughing.
The loudest song, I haven't heard blues, I haven't heard jazz, I have nothing, just the Alicia Keys, who's the woman who dated Nick Cannon? Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, just all of these songs. Not a single Careless Whisper or something in low notes, low registers, whatever it's called. Just Adele.
She wished nothing but the best for you, Petty.
Now she break out with that. I never would have made it.
If she break out with that, y'all just gonna see me just
Let me
ascend to the
go
heavens.
over. Let me go over. Can I put in a request? Can you do Never Would Have Made It? Me and my subscribers want to we want to sing along. We'll still like I need some black people songs that aren't from 2000. I don't know why she's singing CeeLo Green in there. When was CeeLo Green's last song? Exactly. Y'all don't know nothing but crazy. Don't act like you know another song by him. Anywho, let's hurry up and wrap this up because they're disrespectful. Just disrespectful. I'm gonna go talk to him after. Break every Oh my goodness, not break every chain. So yeah, harassment occurs when telecommunications harassment or cyberbullying occurs on the internet. While one post might not be considered
Look, it would be as funny if it wasn't for your reaction the way she gets you every time.
I'm like, how are you? This makes me. They just knocked on the wall. Can they hear me? I hate these people singing. Can they hear me? I'll ask, hey, can you guys hear me? I want to make sure I'm being respectful too when I'm talking shit. I'll say that shit to their face. You should have seen me last time I went over there. I was like, hey, shut the fuck up. I don't care if you want to sing. You need to keep it quiet around here. And they was like, what? And I was like, oh, no, I was just making sure. That's what these guys said. I was just relaying the message. That's not what I would say. But, you know, I also feel the effects. So, you know, I understand why they're upset. Anyway, online harassment and cyberbullying. Let's see. It looks like while one post might not be considered harassment, that one post coupled with phone calls and text might be. So there are various legal remedies available through state and federal laws to protect people from conduct that constitutes harassment or cyberbullying. Know that if your conduct falls into the category of harassment, the subject of your posting may have criminal and civil options. So ladies, if you are posting about these men, make sure you don't hit them up on the phone and start cursing them out or something. Make sure you guys keep this within the group is what these people seem to be recommending, and make sure you're not making like repeated attempts to reach out to these people and harass them and call them and text them and stuff like that. Make sure you're keeping your post again truthful and within the group. Don't reach out to the men who you're talking about. In fact, I think that's probably better. Why reach out to them and let them know? No, just let them have a hard time dating and not know why. Invasion of privacy. Content posted to an Are We Dating the Same Guy group can give rise to legal claims under privacy laws, including invasion of privacy. Invasion of privacy allows a targeted party to bring a lawsuit against individuals who unlawfully intrude on his or her seclusion, publicly disclose private facts, portray him or her in a false light, or misappropriation of his or her name and likeness. Women should keep in mind that even true statements can be actionable if they constitute an intrusion to that man's private affairs.
You should sing along with her and see what she does.
I look crazy too. Stop singing through the walls. I should go not. Stop singing through the walls.
No, just go ahead and invite her to go ahead and sing for us.
I'll tell them, my subscriber, we can hear you. I just don't know if you're aware, but I wanted to make you aware that we can hear you through the walls. And also we wanted to see if you would be down to sing.
Not do you see what I see? I can't stand it.
I would just sing along to, because then she would clearly know you hear her.
She said you talk too loud. Yeah, they might be trying to sing over me. This nigga is loud as hell all the time. Just sing louder. I
It's
don't know what's going on.
showtime at the Apollo. She is ready.
Showtime.
You know what it reminds me of? There's a content creator up here. He used to be mega loud until it started causing him health issues, and he was like, "I just know my neighbors think I'm crazy."
Not IdGab karaoke. You need to start making beats. I do not know that content creator. I will look them up though. So, and again, invasion of privacy. They're just making sure you're not unlawfully intruding on his or her seclusion. That sounds very malleable in my opinion. Again, Themis is not here to school us on law, so this will have to be an IdGab question, but that sounds very loosey-goosey. Like, it doesn't sound like there's a very stringent barrier on what it means to invade someone's privacy. So probably I would use a reasonable man standard here for what should be private. Again, we were talking about addresses being leaked, for example, earlier, and the idea that people are saying to go to this person's address and throw rocks at them. That will probably constitute as harassment and an invasion of privacy. So ladies, don't do that. Just the first name and picture seem to be fine. I don't know if it's actionable as far as constituting an intrusion to the man's private affairs. So hopefully we'll find out at the end of this lawsuit. So I would tread carefully, ladies. Tortious interference with a prospective advantage/contract. Tortious interference occurs, hope I'm pronouncing that right, when a person improperly induces a breach of contract between the target and a third party. A man posted in the Are We Dating the Same Guy group may have tortious interference claims against a woman who posts about him in these groups if that woman subsequently provides the post to the man's employer, calling for his termination, and he is fired as a result of that post. Moderators of Are We Dating the Same Guy groups frequently have group rules that prohibit women from posting a man's employer, and for good reason. If a man is fired for the post you made about him, you are more likely to be sued. But don't rely on moderators to protect you from this risk in their screening. So it looks like you guys can't like contact their employer and say this man cheated, so fire him. Now maybe you can. Now I'm not gonna encourage anything. Actually, I was just going to say, because they put a registry here for like violent crimes and such things, maybe you could make the employer aware of those things, which again. But these people are saying not to, so I'm not going to encourage that. I certainly wouldn't encourage something where we could be sued for it, right? So they're saying don't contact these people's jobs. And the reason being you are more likely to get sued. So don't rely on the moderators. Rely on your own self-policing, ladies. I'm just making you ladies aware of the rules because that seems to be what men want. Hopefully they want women to be aware of the rules so that they can navigate these groups without, contacting the man's employer or posting his address or harassing him. And they don't want the group actually taken down because they want women to date safely. They just don't want them to do it unethically, I assume. Hopefully.
Well, according to that article, you shouldn't use the photo either, because you can get in trouble for using their likeness.
Yeah, at this point, just stop dating them altogether. Let them figure it out.
And do you know some women are actually choosing to date other women now rather than deal with that, even though they ain't going 100% protect you neither. You just need to use discretion all the way around, period, at this point.
Yeah, but they're probably still safer dating women than they are men anyway.
Oh, yes, vastly safer compared to the statistic of men.
Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Conduct that is seen to be so extreme or outrageous that it results in the emotional distress of another person gives rise to the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress. Posters should keep in mind things posted to an emotional group, to a Facebook group, can give rise to claims of intentional infliction of emotional distress. So I did see that there were some group rules, for example, about making fun of a man's weight or how he looks and stuff like that. So I would be making sure you guys, again, are just posting about verifiable info like his age or how the date went truthfully, instead of just making fun of people. Sure, I support that. If it leaves, if it makes you less likely to be sued for this emotional distress, because I feel like saying, what is emotionally distressful about being honest about our dates, for example? What is emotionally stressful about making your sex offender history, for example, known to people who are dating you? I would
Which is
ask.
required by law anyway for you to do if you're that type of offender.
Is it required by law? You met the person you're dating, you let them know you're a sex offender? I don't know if it's required by law. Actually,
No, not that. I was talking about the information is supposed to be public knowledge. So if somebody wants to go to that, to the list and find out whether or not you're on it. Because a lot of them don't even want to do that. We've seen that with Minaj's husband. He was trying to get out of doing that. Well, she was too, because she didn't want her information out there. But that's something you should have considered before you married somebody with that type of situation going on.
Production says, can you get sued for the firing if the info you share is true? Let's see. It doesn't look like there's anything to say that the statement has to be true or false for it to be tortious interference. It sounds like it just you contacting the man's employer and being like, fire the man because he's cheating or he's on the offender registry or whatever the post is about. If you made that post, it looks like you could be sued for that. So according to, this is JD Supra, which they say they're run by lawyers and legal experts. So just loud. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, I would be careful around that. Regarding emotional distress, I would make sure you are, if you're being sued for emotional distress, make it about you posting about their sex offender status, which I think would be difficult to fight in court instead of like, we made fun of him for being fat or something. So number 2, deleting a post does not negate legal claims. If you posted a statement in Are We Dating the Same Guy group that gives rise to legal claims, deleting it does not prevent the subject of the post from suing you. Deleting a post can, however, show a court that you attempted to mitigate damages if you do get sued. So providing some info there, deleting the post doesn't, they can still sue you, but it might mitigate damages if it shows that you are remorseful or wanted to mitigate damages, for example. Number 3, there is no such thing as an anonymous Facebook post. The internet is forever. Anyone who assumes that they can maintain their anonymity on the internet does so at their own peril. Are We Dating the Same Guy group provides the option for women to post anonymously, stating that they will never reveal a user's identity. But the reality is, courts frequently order moderators in social media platforms like Meta to hand over identifying information of platform users. Facebook keeps information on every one of its users. This includes a user's name, phone number, and IP addresses, among other identifying information. Think you're technically savvy and can evade detection? Think again. Even sophisticated threat actors can be unmasked. To learn more about how anonymous individuals on the internet are unmasked, check out our article on John Doe lawsuits. So they're saying even if these groups give you the option to post anonymously, ladies, you could still possibly have your identity uncovered for what you post about these men. That's something that even the group rules say. Be prepared for this to get back to the guy. And this is saying even the legal system, and for it to possibly have implications socially with that man or legally. So it's not saying you can be sued for posting something anonymously, but it is saying that there may be a court order for someone to unmask your anonymity on these sites. So they do want you to be aware of that, at least according to this article. And number 4, and finally, assume any man you post will see what you wrote. Are We Dating the Same Guy group moderators are highly selective in who they admit as group members. Additionally, group rules typically prohibit members from taking screenshots. But the reality is, careful screening and group rules do not prevent group members from taking screenshot of posts and sharing them with the subjects. If you write something about someone, you should assume that it will get back to them. And if you have fears for your physical safety, it's advisable to carefully consider potential repercussions before making any post. So again, they want you to be safe and understand that somebody, maybe there's a girl who's a friend of the man that you're posting in that group, and they screenshot it and bring it back to him. That's certainly possible. That's certainly possible. Or someone earlier said pick me's. Pick me's. So that concludes that article. Unfortunately, this is new. It looks like there was a 2023 lawsuit as well, where a 41-year-old man sued the administrators of a London group. I didn't see it because it was based in London. And this one that we're looking at is based in New York Times for $35,000 under defamation, alleging the group, quote, called names, accused of sending lewd photos and of being a bad parent. So they apparently called him names, accused him of sending nudes or something lewd, and of being a bad parent. Let me see if I can look into that lawsuit. I want to see, like, did he win? Did he lose? Is it ongoing? Because that one's a little older.
His complaint is that they said that he was a bad parent and he sent the nude to someone. I'm guessing the woman.
Yeah.
That
like maybe he sent a PP pic in somebody's DMs. I heard that's pretty common for men to do to random, random women, not even dating apps or something, just random Facebook girl. Here you go. First thing, not a hey, hello, just here's my PP. So I hear that's pretty common. So maybe that's what happened. So he's suing. They spoke to the plaintiff and defendant and has chosen not to name either party due to the nature of allegations, lack of transparency and safety features in dating apps has led to women forming such groups for mutual protection. Again, even this one, like, it's so, it doesn't tell me like the result of the case. Is it ongoing? Was it settled? Did he win? So I feel like if they won the lawsuits, this would be such big news. Like all the men's rights group will be talking about it. But I don't see anything about that. So I feel like the cases are either ongoing or they lost.
Well, if they win, that whole B4 movement that they're doing in South Korea is just going to come over here.
Ooh. Gender-based violence on campus, online dating groups. Are we dating the same guy? Are we dating the same girl? Men got offended by women's Facebook group, so they made their own. Let's see.
It's really sad that they can't ever come up with their own ideas. It's always some response to what women are doing.
Let's see. Group rules emphasize that women, charmingly referred to as females in the rules title, are not allowed. Men with girlfriends and wives that join are not allowed to show anyone else the post in the group for no reason whatsoever. Rule number 6 is titled, read number 5, ladies, in all capital letters. Stop trying to join. You are not slick. There's a post going around discussing the pros and cons of are we dating the same girl / guy, and some user was like, well, my friend had 3 different women say they were pregnant and con him for money for the the abobo. Let's see. There was a post on the Facebook group I saw of a woman posting the aftermath of her first date with a guy who beat the ish out of her. Men just get annoyed when they're called out and judged, and other people come out to confirm the call out was accurate. Glimpses inside the group show that they might be right. While the number one rule of Are We Dating the Same Girl Facebook group is to be kind and courteous, members have been seen making fun of women's appearances in posts and have even posted about women they've never dated before. So it looks like the men are breaking some rules. Maybe we should file a lawsuit, y'all, for defamation. Maybe we can get a class action going on or something.
You should join one of the groups, Petty, because they don't want us females in there.
Yeah, and I'm sure the men's rights would support this because, like, they don't want men, like, they have an issue with the women who do this. So I assume they would have an issue with the men who do this. So I assume I could, like, post about this on the men's rights Reddit and be like, these men look at them making fun of girls and doing defamation and stuff, and we need to sue them so that this doesn't happen because this behavior is bad. I'm sure the men's rights will support me in taking down male groups who, violate these rules. So, yeah. Absolutely. In a Reddit thread about creating what happened? It just took me up to the top. In a Reddit thread about creating an Are We Dating the Same Girl group in Ontario, one commenter said, quote, they tried to get one up and running, but it quickly became hot or not. The women's group is to warn others about potentially dangerous and abusive men, whereas the men's group was saying she's a whore, she's ugly, etc. The group is still in its early stages and will no doubt grow from here. It remains to be seen whether it turns into a cesspool for misogyny or a genuinely helpful group for men to ask for dating advice. Quote, in parentheses, if the original Facebook group is any indication, it looks like they need it. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think this will turn into a cesspool for misogyny or a genuinely helpful group for men? It's interesting because I saw studies that were showing that less and less men are even dating these days. So maybe that's why the group is so small, because men aren't dating anybody. So there's not really anybody to, like, forget, are we dating the same girl? Are you dating anybody? Is a question that the research seems to be asking. Thank you, everyone who watched to this point. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of updates about either of these cases at the moment. I do plan to, if there's any follow-ups, I plan to do a follow-up video. I'm going to reach out to the owner of the Are We Dating the Same Guy website and see if she'd like to do an interview just about, like, how she kind of came up with this idea, some of the testimonials, and of course the lawsuits, and if she is willing to talk about anything. Obviously, when you're in court, there are certain things that you're unable to discuss due to being in a pending court case, in a current court case. So we don't want to, like, invalidate anything that might be happening in court. But if she's willing to, I would love to talk to her about some of this stuff. And maybe, like, how does she feel about the Are We Dating the Same Girl website? Like, I have questions, so I'll reach out and see if she'd like to come on and we can talk to her.
But to answer your question, I would safely say that we can predict that it's going to do what it's been doing all along with these type of situations, and that's turned into a cesspool. It's already well on its way.
Well, it sounds like it already did turn into a cesspool.
Yeah, it already is one.
What makes you think it will turn into a cesspool just because?
I mean, it sounds like
way. Oh my
just
God.
an extra incel site.
Oh my God! What makes you say that? That is so crazy. What you think?
Because, like, they're already calling women out of their names. They're already criticizing them for the very things that they don't want to be criticized on, their appearance. So it's basically the pot calling the kettle black. So with the women, they're actually concerned for their safety, and these men are doing typically what things that you have discussed. They're doing this simply in retaliation of the fact that there's any accountability to be held.
I wonder if maybe she, the lady who created the original Are We Dating the Same Guy group, if she would even consider maybe doing like what do you call it, a dating app where the men have to be verified like criminally and all kinds of things before they can even join.
That
I'm
would
tired.
be an amazing app.
This is a tiring. This is a tiring topic. This is a tiring topic.
I mean, it's just kind of like, here we are again.
Here we are again. Again, nothing was learned.
At all.
So 17% of y'all said y'all do not support these groups' existence. If you haven't voted yet, be sure to vote. I did post a link just now in case anyone wanted to come up and say why they disagreed with these groups' existence, because I would be interested in hearing the other side. We didn't go through the men's post. So we can go through that. We can go through that in the after show while we wait for people to come up. And then, yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. We're going to have a quick after show.
You really want to catch fucking free?
Oops. Okay. The men's rights had something to say. Men's rights had something to say. They were certainly upset, to say the least. So let's see what they were upset about. Maybe they have a case, right? That's certainly possible. That is certainly possible. So here's what men's rights says. He just wants to tell us about his experience with Are We Dating the Same Guy? Oh my God, it's so long. My experience with Are We Dating the Same Guy? Yeah, a 3 hour. It would have been shorter. I feel like we stopped several times because people were singing. So I recently tried a hand at online dating again and downloaded Bumble. It was probably too soon, as I did need more time after my breakup. I'm a single dad, stay in shape and interesting hobbies, good job, stable, own my own place, and have one kid. My relationship with my... Did y'all hear that loud ass sneeze? That's a grown man.
Yeah, we heard it.
The 47-year-old man sneeze right there. That's one of them dudes who grunts when they sit down in a sofa. Probably got bad breath. Anyway, so he's a single dad, stays in shape and interesting hobbies. Wow, he sounds completely perfect with no flaws at all. I love that. His relationship with his ex-wife is mostly okay, pretty drama-free. She's a little overbearing sometimes, but I say 90% of the time we get along pretty well and often have good long conversations about our kid and just random things a couple times a month. So drama isn't something I want in my life. I just want peace. I wonder what his custody arrangement's like. Well, cue Bumble and meeting some women. I had a decent amount of matches and was talking to a couple of women, 3 in particular that I had moved to text, and 2 I went out on a couple of dates with. I was super friendly both times, paid for the dates, and thought the conversations were good. Both were familiar with my hobbies and what I do for a second job. So I thought, cool, let's go out and see how we click. One date wasn't a great one. I didn't think it was that bad, but I wasn't into her at all. Didn't look like her photos, I thought, just not cool. But still, I was polite. Thought we had mutual interest and called it a night. I wasn't interested in seeing her again. Other one was much sweeter, good personality and likable. I wasn't terribly attracted to her and honestly wasn't not interested in going out with her again, but wasn't excited about seeing her again either, so I left it open. No hard feelings and nothing bad. Now on my profile, in Bumble, I made it explicit I was looking for something long term and wanted a best friend. Yeah, that's why he like he wasn't like interested in going out with this lady again, but he was like left it open so that in case she wanted to go out, he could. Because he is looking for something long term and wanted a best friend. Marriage isn't an option for me anymore, but I would like a long term partner. Marriage isn't an option for me anymore, but I would like a long term partner. Maybe he should look into having friends. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the times it feels like you could just why not just have a male friend? You're not looking for marriage. You said you're looking for a best friend in something long term. That's not marriage. I feel like you could definitely just go out and make friends. Like you don't have to get with women who you say that you didn't like her, but you left it open in case she wanted to talk again.
It sounds like he's just trying to find a woman to be everything for him, like literally everything. Like
no.
Like
But
I
none
need
of
you to be my wife, and I need you
No.
to emotionally support me completely. Why would I go find a guy to befriend and have drinks with every now and again?
How could you
Why
say
would
that?
I go get a dog?
How could you say that? He is a single dad, stays in great shape and interesting hobbies, good job, stable, own his own place, and has one kid. And his relationship with his ex-wife is mostly okay and pretty drama-free. She's a little overbearing, but 90% of the time they get along well.
Well, how much you want to bet overbearing if she don't agree with him 100% of the time?
She's keeping me from seeing my child. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not about to let y'all slander, libel this man. What are you talking about? He's such a great guy. And unlike the women, these men's rights immediately trusted his story and didn't call it false or needed facts to verify it like they're saying the women do. They just
And also, none of the qualities he said about himself had anything to do with his personality.
Ooh, I'm so rich and wealthy. I don't understand why these girls are saying I was a bad. Anyway, sorry.
and Kenter, and that's the reason why they have a hard time making friends with each other. They can't even get past their stuff. They don't have personalities. They have stuff.
I mean, they seem to be making friends here. They all grouped up to talk about, am I dating the same guy and how terrible a group it is. Let's read some more. Well, come to find out from a female coworker, I showed up on this stupid Facebook group. A woman posted me on there and some comments rolled in. A couple from women saying we went on dates a long time ago and it was nice, but nothing came of it. Others saying I complained they live too far away. I have a kid and I'm busy. I'm not driving 50 miles for someone I just met. So he seems to confirm that. Then one of the aforementioned women I went on a date with who trashed me said I lied about my height. I did not. Said I ran the conversation and didn't ask about her. Fair enough. Maybe I didn't. Personally, I don't remember, but she wasn't someone I wanted to see again anyways. She still hung out and wanted to see me again. I didn't respond back, and she unmatched me. She just sounded bitter. From what I understand, one of my female friends, who doesn't know my coworker, jumped into my defense and said she knew me, said I was a good guy, definitely a lot taller than 5'6", and fun to be around. Another woman trashed my looks, so on. That's interesting. There are a lot of nice people who like beat their wives behind closed doors. So generally, I don't look at someone's. I feel like your friends can get real delulu when defending you, especially when it comes to a man doing anything in his dating life. What are you talking about? He's such a great guy. He's so cool. Yeah, but you're not dating him. So I always take that with a grain of salt.
Also, did you notice that instead of just telling the woman that he didn't really like her like that, he did some other randomness so that she unmatched him? Like, just say you don't want to date her instead of wasting her time.
Yeah. So he's on a men's rights group. So we know he's not the type to like lie about his height to go on dates with women. We know that much. I've never heard of a man on Reddit on men's rights. I've never heard of them lying about their height. So he says that part is false. But the other parts where he ran the conversation, didn't talk about her at all, talked about himself a lot, he says, fair enough. So he seems to corroborate that. And,
but notice he also didn't deny when they were saying that he had a mileage radius that he wasn't willing to go past to date these women.
Yes, he says he's not driving 50 miles. So apparently these women were 50 miles away from him. Let me see what city this is in. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Because if it's this New York group, that sounds false. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just going to assume his radius was 50 miles. Look, it's hard. I learned this from my women friend. She has like 200 people in her likes on Tinder or something, but then you go and look at your male friends dating apps. They didn't made their age range 18 to 72. Their mile radius is 100. They're like, there's a little thing where you can open up your Tinder to the whole world, and globally people can find, like, these men are struggling to the point where they open up their mileage really, really, really far. So I believe that there are men who are dating women who are over 50 miles away. I just don't understand how is he. Okay, he said he's not driving 50 miles for someone he just met. So he's matching with the women over 50 miles knowingly, but he's not going to like commute to them until they've dated for a while or something. I don't know. If you just date him for long enough, he'll do it, presumably. So that is
It's so unrealistic though. Like, why even waste your time opening it up if you know you're not gonna, like, I understand you're getting less matches, but at the same time, if you know you're not gonna date someone over 50 miles, which is what, an hour driving one way. Like,
yeah, but if he doesn't open up that radius, then he'll get no matches. So he has
okay, well, you just don't have matches. So
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
the natural consequence of your actions.
I think so. This is interesting to me because he's saying she's trashing me, but so far all she's done is told the truth, which he is corroborating it here. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't want to drive to see her. Yeah, I only talked about myself. I didn't talk about her. No, I wasn't interested in her. And because she's telling the truth about what happened, he says she, quote, trashed him. And then he says she sounded bitter. And one of his female friends jumped into his defense to talk about how great he was, even though he's telling us here what the woman said originally is true. And he's confirming that it's true, and even says it's because I wasn't interested in her and I wasn't interested in driving to meet her anyway, since I just like, he's confirming these facts. But he says his female friend is in the comments defending him about some stuff that's true. So that's unusual. I'm not sure why the female friend would come in and start. But like, who cares if you have a good work relationship with him? This man was being terrible on this date with me. That's what this post is about. This is about,
if you don't like your trash actions being talked about, how about not doing the trash actions so they don't get talked about?
So that was certainly unusual behavior from that woman, in my opinion. I mean, people want to defend their friends. I've seen moms go to court, talk about my son ain't bad after he just unalived 16 people. Like, people want to defend their friends and who's close to them. That's understandable to me.
I know one thing I will never do with any of my male friends is I will never tell a potential girlfriend or whatever that they are a good person, because how they treat me as a person may not be how they treat people they date.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know.
I'll tell you how they treat me. Oh, we go out all the time. What do you mean he doesn't go out with you? He goes out with me all the time. We just went to the club. We always hang out. He always has time for me. I want you to know exactly how our relationship is. I agree with you. I'm not about to use that to tell you what your life is going to look like, because it might not. It probably won't, because we're friends.
And also, he said something about as for people considered good guys. I'm assuming he thinks he's a good guy, but all guys think they're good guys.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I literally had a guy call himself a good guy, and then almost immediately after also tell me that he knowingly slept with married women, and he seemed to have no sense of like remorse or anything about it. Like, he didn't see anything wrong with that. But he's a good guy.
Oh, he reeks of the good guy, because what it's really about, they're good guys according to other men. They're not good guys according to women. They're good guys according to other men and what they think a woman should be thinking of as a good guy. What we actually desire doesn't ever come into play.
So to continue, he says another woman trashed his looks. And here is where the hammer meets the nail. This completely put me off meeting anyone else. I can't imagine a site like this would be run for guys and it actually stay up. Maybe he's not aware that there is a site like this for guys and it is up. And it is even worse, apparently, and they are really going in on the women, calling them all types of slurs. So maybe he's not aware of that. Men's rights seems to be generally unaware of these groups where men do just that, apparently. So, but no, yes, those groups are here. Whoever made this post, they exist for men. And yes, men are doing the same thing. Let's see. I guess they might, but I'm not a part of any of those groups. Oh, okay. So he says maybe those men's groups do exist where they're making fun of women, but he's not a part of them. So it's not important. So yeah. Let's see. I mean, a site where people are posting pictures and conversations with women and trashing the women. I guess they might be, but I'm not a part of those groups. Okay, so he says maybe they possibly exist, guys. A website or somewhere where men are posting pictures and conversations with women and trashing them. Like it might exist, but we just can't be sure. We can't be sure. Guys. We don't have.
You can't do a Google search and find them all over YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. No, or Reddit. Heaven forbid. It's not like Google searches and available to him for free or anything.
Let's see. So he said, this put me completely off. I just want peace and quiet and don't want my ish all out there for the world to see like this. Dating apps are cancer and I can't recommend staying away from them. And I thought somebody was going to have posted his address or something. This man is upset because these women said he wasn't interested in me on the date and didn't want to drive to me, even though he matched with me, knowing how far I live away. And he's upset that women are talking to each other about that. Is actually crazy to me. I really thought that he was going to be like they were viciously attacking me or something, but no. Someone made fun of his looks apparently, and you guys might see an issue with that. Body shaming is a real thing. And some girl said that he was terrible on a date, which he said was true. But he's upset because he wants peace and quiet, he says, and he doesn't like for his stuff to be all out there. So that's an interesting perspective he has. But that sounds quite stupid to me. I'm not going to lie. This put me completely off. I just want peace and quiet and don't want my ish all out there for the world to see like this. Dating apps are cancer, and I can't recommend staying away from them enough. As for people considered, quote, good guys, I mean guys looking for an honest relationship. This is off-putting. While my understanding is 2 or 3 women defended me, the fact 2 of them just went BITCH mode on me. One I've never even met on a Facebook group trashing and rating men is toxic. It's completely made me not want to meet or date anyone, period. Keep in mind, he says the women being BITCHs told facts about the date that they went on with him, which he corroborated himself. He's, I wasn't interested in her. Yeah, I didn't want to drive. And he says this is them being a BITCH as well as trashing him and toxic. It's completely made him not want to meet or date anyone, period. And yes, I've heard the quote argument that this protects women from cheaters and abusers. I still call it BS. He doesn't explain why he calls it BS. He just says he calls it BS. Anyway, stay diligent, fellas. Keep your guard up. For me, the women who told me I was on there didn't divulge the info of who made the post and put out my info, but the woman I went on a date with was easy for me to identify, obviously. I didn't contact her, harass her, or anything after. I just fully blocked her from my existence. I'm not sure which one I was talking to made the original post, nor do I care at this point. I'm done. It's not worth it. I'm so done with this stuff. Just going to focus on my kid, hobbies, and house and leave the drama out of it. Much easier this way, and I'm done trying to find companionship. Update. Apparently someone posted a picture of me that isn't me in a thread, and they're all trashing me and saying lies. It's defamation. Period. He might have a lawsuit.
How he blocked someone that was already gone and wasn't interested in talking to him anyway.
Yeah, if you're saying that his story doesn't add up, I agree, because it does feel like there are some contradictions throughout here that are unaddressed. But men's rights don't care. Men's rights said, let's see the comments. All you can do is complain to Facebook, which will accomplish nothing. Someone else said, I had the same experience and Facebook is completely not interested in helping at all. I complained and they did nothing.
Yeah, because actually telling the truth about what you did is not bullying, it's telling the truth. And these are the same men that are quick to say that women need to choose better and have better standards. Meanwhile, not recognizing that if women have better standards, they're definitely not choosing them.
And also, I don't understand why his whole like, oh my gosh, the woman told the truth about me. I don't like it. Now I'm never gonna date women again. Or why didn't you just like go out in your community, find festivals or things that you actually like doing, hobbies, and talk to the women who show up to those. Actually talk to them, and then maybe if you like them, ask them out.
I mean, if there's one thing I learned about how men date, it's when there's a standard that's created. Instead of meeting that standard, they complain about it and then just don't get pushed out of the dating market, according to the research regarding lonely single men. Instead of improving self-improvement, they just push themselves out. So this man, when he sees women who are telling true facts about how he dates to other women, instead of thinking, maybe I shouldn't do these things that all these women perceive negatively and that even he's perceived negatively, but said his excuse was that she lived too far or that he wasn't interested in the date. Maybe instead of doing that stuff, I should date in a way that doesn't make people feel so negatively about me. Instead of doing that, he just says, I give up on dating. They took my peace away, which his peace was other women didn't know how he dated. So he's upset that it's now other women are privy to what he does on dates and don't want to date him. So he just gives up. That sounds like what men do generally, if I'm being honest, according to the data. So someone was saying that someone was making fun of women's empowerment and saying Facebook is probably going to defend these groups as women's empowerment. Someone replied to that and said, I'm sure Facebook loves them for the women's empowerment angle, as well as the fact these groups get huge engagement from women. They love having a place to just rip men to shreds for every real and imagined reason under the sun. Even though, again, this post, the man is describing that what they posted about him was in fact true.
And it wasn't ripping him to shreds. It was just stating facts. That's like me saying, last night you and I went out on a date at 8 o'clock, and then you make a post and say, I ripped you to shreds because I told the time we went out on a date. What in the world, man?
Someone replied to him saying, this completely put me off meeting anyone else, and says, this is what's happening to most of us. No one likes their mistakes and failures broadcast to others. People especially don't like it happening behind their back. People especially don't like it when the condition for success for the task of dating is creating a good perception. And if all the women who, for whatever reason, want to drag you down become involved, then it makes that process, dating, completely not worth it. Women acting like this is actively ensuring men's mistakes, failures, awkwardness, and everything they've worked to improve on in dating follow them around forever. It's the reason libel and slander laws even exist, but this system is designed to be distributed and small enough to avoid being worth the cost of litigation, while ensuring the consequences of that slander and libel are fully enforced. That feels unusual because, again, this man is describing a truthful event that happened. Like, I felt like he was going to be like, all these women were lying on me. When this is my first time reading the post. That's legitimately what I thought it was going to be. I wanted to see what men's rights are saying about this. And I thought it was going to be, these women completely lied on me and made up stuff. But no, he's like, they told the truth, and that makes me upset. So, any case of libel or slander that they're talking about just doesn't exist here. It just doesn't exist. Unfortunately, they just have to improve in dating. This is not why slander laws were created, because women are talking to each other about you being bad on dates with them and telling the truth about it. That is not why laws about lying were created. Let's see what else he says. Until society is willing to hold women accountable for being self-absorbed, sexist cunts, dating isn't worth the effort. At this point, it's a circus where men are expected to perform and women are handed tomatoes. And guess effing what? Men don't enjoy acting like a clown or being treated like one. The fact that women themselves can't even acknowledge how harmful this is, or even if they do, immediately dismiss the harm as not comparable to any mythical harm to women it might possibly in their fantasies prevent, they still do it. This is just the most modern and toxic expression of the women talk phenomenon. And until women grow the F up and get this toxic, itty behavior under control and hold other women accountable for their actions when they do it, men will just walk away. It's better being alone than dealing with a chore that only provides abuse or many of them. Yeah, men are walking away, ladies.
I
That's
don't think
right.
any women are crying about that. Please walk away.
You're losing out on John. He said the man in this post said he wasn't interested in them women and didn't even want to date them really and didn't want to drive to them. And you're missing out on that. You're missing out on these men who are barely interested in you, but will string you along as long as you don't know about their dating history because of these groups. You're really missing out, ladies. Missing out on these nice guys.
He sounded like a future passport, bro.
This is female dating strategy 101. You're obviously a catch. And the trashing of you by your dates to other women is a way to get back at you for not choosing them. They want to hurt you by chasing off all other women from your life. It's about the worst thing women can do, and it seems like it's automatic. There's nothing rational about this. They're speaking about these women telling the truth, like according to the man in the original post. That's what they're saying.
So, according to their logic, there's nothing rational about car fats then.
There's nothing logical about telling other people that this is a bad person, they say. This men, the logical creatures, by the way. Nothing logical about this person did bad behavior and we told other people they did bad behavior so those other people can be aware. They say this is not logical. It sounds logical to me, but I could just not be a man. We know that men are logical creatures. So it could be that I'm just not a logical male.
The fact that they think that people are going to be upset that they walk away is hilarious to me, actually. But slightly off topic, but I realized at the top where it says men's right at advocating for, social and legal equality of men since 2008. I'm like, when were you not equal? And also like the whole 2008. So it took you that long to even, if you did think something wasn't equal, it took you that long to like do something?
It's because they're logical. Men are the logical creatures, is my answer to why that happens. Because they're logical. And if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars.
It makes me wonder, like, what topics do they actually think men aren't, like, their rights are being trampled on?
Their right to be bad to women in private and not have it talked about is being impeded on. And so it's libel or slander or something. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Cantor and Purple, I will give y'all 1 minute combined to get y'all final thoughts out. And then we'll close out.
Yeah, these men complaining is typical and uninteresting. Again.
Thank you. Agreed. Purple lover, any last words?
Thank you for having me, as always. Enjoyed you, Cantor. Women just recognize that stop, Maury. People are considering being held accountable, not your right to do so, which is fascinating because these are the same men that they want to hold you accountable. They're all over the place, making sure that their voices get heard. So continue to hold them accountable and to have your standards and just
Isn't that-
enjoy life.
Isn't that
Stop.
Also, thanks for
My
having us up,
apologies for
and,
the background noise.
no? You're fine.
and thanks to your background singer.
Of
For
course,
all of it.
I'll give her props after this. I'll be sure to remember to go up and speak and ask why. But yeah, isn't that interesting for a group that talks about accountability so much? You would think they want bad behavior that is done by men to be like talked about and prevented and, you know, shamed. We don't want bad behavior to continue. So like we want there to be repercussions if there's bad behavior. So I don't understand why they are like, the women need to be accountable for the men doing bad things. The women need to not talk about it, and that's accountability. That just feels backwards to me. But unfortunately, nobody came up to explain the why they don't support side. So their side will just have to be unsaid today. Unfortunately, we won't get to hear from the men or anyone who wanted to defend them today. So again, thank you everyone for joining. If you haven't already, don't forget to like the video. And comment like a panda head or something if you made it this far and you've watched all the way through. After the video post, just comment a panda so I know who is listening and who is just leaving it playing in the background. Because I talked to my sister yesterday and she was like, I watched one of your streams, and I was like, oh cool. I don't be talking about nothing sometimes, but other times I be talking about some stuff, you know. And she was like, I know, because some of them streams, I just leave it on the TV for support. I just put it on mute and let it play in the background because it don't be for me. So, period. Love that. Not a panda in the live chat, a panda in the comments after the video post. So, thank you again, everybody. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because apparently only 52% of y'all were, I need to go over there ASAP. Only 52% of y'all were subscribed who watched like the last couple of videos. So y'all are just here watching.
She just wanted to end your show. That's all.
She wants to end my show, so I'm gonna go and deal
You
with
said
this,
final thoughts, so she decided to give her final thoughts as well.
I'm gonna go and deal with this, and I'll give y'all an update in the Discord. By the way, the Discord is open if anyone wants to join. There's usually always a link in the description of my videos. So thank you everybody once again, and good night.